Township Parsippany-Troy Hills Township Council Special Meeting, April 14th, 2026. The meeting is called to order by Council President Hernandez at 6 p.m. The agenda of the special meeting, to the extent known, is as follows. Review and discussion of the Mayor's 2026 budget recommendations. Formal action may or may not be taken. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law by filing the notice in the Office of Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board at the Municipal Building on March 26, 2026, where it's remained posted since that date. Copy of this notice appeared in the Daily Record on March 26, 2026. Can I please ask everybody to stand for the flag salute?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Here.
Mr. Kavanaugh is on his way. Mr. McGrath?
Here.
Ms. Patel?
Here.
Ms. Hernandez?
Here.
Okay, also in attendance are Mayor Polka Desai, Township Attorney Donald Skorinsky, Business Administrator Mark Seaman, Township Clerk Colette Madden, and CFO Angelica Sabatini. At this time, before we begin with the budget summary, I'll turn it over to the Mayor for a statement.
Thank you, everybody, for coming here tonight. We convene our budget meeting, which is an important step in ensuring full transparency and accountability to our residents. This process provides our department heads with the opportunity to clearly explain their operations and how public funds are being utilized. It also allows members of our council to ask questions, engage in meaningful dialogue, and gather the information necessary to make informed decisions. Following that, we will open the floor to questions to the public during a public session. This is where the residents will have the opportunity to ask questions, share concerns, and provide input. I want to be clear that tonight is not the end of this process. After hearing from our department heads, the council, and the public, I will carefully review all feedback. My goal is to determine whether these are responsible ways to reduce the overall impact while still putting Parsippany on the right path forward. I'm committed to doing what is right for Parsippany. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Desai. At this time, I'll turn it over to our Business Administrator, Mark Seaman, for the budget summary and presentation.
Thank you. Please bear with me as I'm recovering from a cold, so if you can't hear me, just give a yell and I'll try my best to speak louder. All right, this is our budget presentation of the overview. So our goals are transparency, responsibility, and execution.
Excuse me, can everybody hear Mark?
No. Okay, how's this? Any better? How about now? All right.
Want to switch a mic, maybe a different mic?
Can you reach one of these over to the podium?
Yeah, we can try. Maybe.
How's this? Nope.
Hello? No, not any better, right? This one's not better?
What about the
Better? No?
You got one more over there.
Let's just take the rubber band off of that thing.
How's this? No? Worse?
Use that. Yeah, one of those.
Is this any better?
Yeah.
A little better? All right. Not once have we talked about increasing the budget for this, but that's fine. All right.
Well, so that is going to be happening, by the way, this year, just so everybody knows.
Okay. So, some of the things that we've discovered while we've gone through this budget process. In the past, we have not taken the advice of our employees and hired professionals. The recommendations that have been made to avoid some of the issues that we have presented since this started are now being made today to fix them. $500,000 in CARES Act funding that was given to municipalities for COVID-19 efforts are currently in jeopardy, and we are actively working with our consultants to find ways to expend this funding, but there is a chance that this funding is lost. When we talk about unfunded lines, the two major unfunded line items that we continue to talk about, which is a contribution, which is contributing
3.12% to the overall tax increase is the accumulated absences and the capital improvements. Accumulated absences have been underfunded since 2015. Residents are being double taxed on this item because the differences were being made up by financing them through special emergency bonds. Capital improvements were being underfunded by $900,000 and were kept artificially low through excessive use of the capital reserves fund. These are just two examples of short-term relief issues that have caused long-term problems. Now let's talk about some of the misunderstandings that are out there. Employees did not give themselves raises. Non-union employees receive a 2% cost of living allowance, which is the general standard in most municipalities. There are contractually obligated increases through our union contracts. And department heads are given the opportunity to put in for merit increases that go above the 2% and are evaluated on a case-by-case basis. When we talk about our seniors and the senior tax freeze, if you are a senior and you are in this program, the increase of this budget is not affecting you. We will be doing a better job of publicizing this program on our website and creating times during the year where we will organize times to meet with you, either through our community center or other locations throughout the community. Now let's talk about the chief of staff position. This has always been a budgeted position within the mayor's office. Whether the mayor chooses to hire one is another story. This administration will bring on a chief of staff to assist with the progress of this township. The request to hire employees that were hired since January 1st. We're not starting this administration with terminations or layoffs. We're not putting the blame on the people who applied for job opportunities. We have already made adjustments to the requests that we feel comfortable with within this budget. And while we do have budget challenges, it does not warrant a layoff plan. And that is one of the reasons why our departments are here today to explain why their increases are occurring. Reducing employee benefits. We are required by law to provide a standard of health benefits to our employees. So while we can make adjustments, removing benefits is not possible. In all of our union contracts, it also states that if there are adjustments, it has to be better than or equal to what they are currently receiving. Now, when we talk about hiring freezes, I apologize that I have to be the one to say this, but we are closer to a Fortune 500 company than we are the town of Mayberry. We have close to 500 employees, which is subject to constant turnover. We provide 2 major utilities to the township. We run a golf course. We handle our own garbage and recycling program. And on top of that, we have all the other required government services that we provide. Any delays in hiring will result in negative impacts to our operations, which is why this administration had to jump on early with hiring. External pressures. On the next few slides, we are going to show that some of our invoices did have tariff increases on them. Fuel costs are obviously going up, which is directly related to the war. This will also increase the cost of asphalt and infrastructure materials, which will directly impact the volume of roads that we will be repaving each year. 2 major snowstorms came in to start 2026. And while we knock on wood, we hope that there are no future emergencies, but they could occur, like hurricanes and floods. And we'll move to the tariffs. So this is just an example of one of our invoices that shows the tariffs that have come in. And we did a preliminary look through last year's purchases. And while we did not do the complete deep dive, we've already identified $16,000 that can be attributed to tariffs. That's the next slide. Okay, next slide. Now to the departments. We have many department heads that are operating while wearing multiple hats. Some department heads don't just manage another department, some manage multiple departments. They've done this out of a commitment to the township, not because it's sustainable. And when they ask for support, those supports are based on operational needs, not simple inconveniences that they're dealing with. Some of the realities that we're facing here is that department heads and employees are working over the top for this township. And what frustrates me coming into this is that departments are shocked when I answer the phone. Departments are shocked when I respond to emails. Departments are shocked when I set up meetings with them just to meet with them. That's not normal. What's normal to our residents and our employees is actually having communication with your staff. And that's what's going to continue while I'm here. Vacancies. Some vacancies are due to retirements, transitions like promotions. Our goal is to hire at lower salaries whenever we can. But the goal of this administration is to evaluate every position that comes through regardless of how the employee is separated. We want employees to grow here, and we want the ability to promote from within. We discovered some instances where candidates in the past were interviewed and even verbally offered positions, but the prior administration never acted upon these requests. That damages our reputation as an employer, and it makes it harder for us to attract talent. And that could also force us to hire people for more money than we would anticipate. Our goal is to make reductions in overtime because it will save the town money, but it also helps our current employees have a better quality of life, which is of major importance to this administration. Programs. We have been asked to cut or completely kill some programs for this year. The following programs cost the town little to no money, and they will not move the tax point if removed. We have our farmers markets. You want to go back real quick. Farmers markets, our summer camps. Our fall festival is co-sponsored at a low cost. And the summer concerts are sponsored entirely. Now let's talk about understanding our taxes. We all get one bill. It has the municipal, school, county, open space, and a few other various items like our fire districts. Each is a separate driver, and we want to be able to understand it all together. Now, a lot of the things that were being said was our 9.5 increase plus the school's 6.5 increase, or whatever the number was at the time, gives us a 14 or 15% increase. That's not the case. The school is on a fiscal calendar, which is July 1st to June 30th, and we are on a calendar, which is January 1st to December 31st. So the entire cost of everything, every function that we've discussed at top, it's a 7.65 increase. What that's going to, I know it's a little small right there, but it's going to ultimately come out on the average assessed home to $71.86. $71.86 on a monthly basis. Now the school is having their presentation, I believe, in 2 days? Thursday. Their numbers will be different because of the fiscal component. We spoke with them earlier today to ensure that we were explaining that part, because I'm sure when you guys are there, you're going to ask the same questions. Now, what you're going to see this year, you're going to see a focused plan on improving roads and infrastructure. You're going to see better communication with projects and timelines. We're going to show that execution is not just planning, but showing progress, not just talking about it. And when we talk about transparency, let's talk about the pilots. The mayor said at the last meeting that he will be forming a committee on pilots where we're going to be transparent across the board. Our goal is to add a part of our website that is going to show on a quarterly basis what are we collecting from pilots, so that the residents have no surprises at the end of the year when we have these totals. Now let's go from an ethical perspective to our council president, Councilman Karifi and Councilman McGrath. I am sorry that you were not told how the previous administration was keeping things low. I'm not sorry that I'm the one telling you, because it's my job to do that. And you are going to get that from me every day that I'm here. I'm not here to bash the past. If I have to, I will. But I'm here to correct what I can and move us forward. My promise to the governing body, to our employees, to our residents, as your business administrator, I'm not afraid of the hard questions. I will confidently tell you when I don't know the answer, and it's my job to get you that answer in a responsible time frame. When questions are ignored, people lose trust. My goal is to gain that trust. This administration is here to gain that trust. There is trust lost, but we will gain that back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mark, for that. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and get right into it, and we'll call the police department up for their budget presentation.
Thank you, Mayor and Council President, and all new council members. Welcome. We've been doing this group probably about 5 years now. I gave everyone a...
Yeah, mic's not on.
Is it muted?
Good.
Nope.
That's not even, that's not even. There it is.
This one. You hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for having us here tonight. We always look forward to speaking about the police department. Listening to what the BA was just saying, that's basically what our budget is going to come down to. It's going to be manpower, retention, and how we work around that. For those of you that have been on the council more than this year, you have noticed that our budget usually is the same. Our numbers don't change very much. Most of our changes are maintenance and upkeep to our building. Our overtime is an issue that we deal with constantly, but that all lends itself to hiring and retention and also promotions. You know, we work with contracts for the workers, and we have a very narrow window with scheduling and changes that we can make to schedules and stuff like that. So that's where we're working with, what we're working with, and what in the end is going to come down to what we're asking for is basically manpower. We've lost 23 people in the last 2.5 years. So we're down a quarter of our department just in people we lose. Now, Councilman Karifi could tell you the process of hiring is not the same as it is for the rest of the town. We only get 2 shots at the apple. We just had an application, a hiring request where we received applications for people that are interested in being hired. We have about 2 weeks to start that process between going to the academy, getting them sworn in, through their physical, all the doctor's appointments, interviews, and stuff like that. So we're dealing with a time limit. So when we ask for the amount of people that we ask, and I know this year we asked for 10, that's taken into account who's leaving, who left, and how much time we have to get them through the process. More so than normally, I've noticed in the past couple of years, this town is growing. I've been around for 35, 36 years in Parsippany. And when I don't get on the road as much as I used to, where I would drive around a lot, more in the office, but when I do get out, you see the building and you see the amount of people that are probably going to come into this town. Our department is low, if we look at it that way. I've had discussions with the mayor and the BA about our max. We have a max currently of 113. I think eventually, maybe not, obviously not during this budget or maybe not this year, but that max should go away. This town is going to be to where you're going to need a department that's probably going to be in the 130 area, just with the amount of people that we have moving in and the businesses. If you could just take a look at the budget info that I gave you, it deals with the amount of people that we have in the township, all the major highways that we go through. It breaks down our current staffing. That's another issue when we talk about overtime. We're way behind on promotions, and I know that the administration has talked about this with me, and I know we'll come to some kind of conclusion on to when to make promotions, but that does have a direct relation to overtime. Because when you do add it in with the contract, how many officers we need on the road at a time, how many supervisors, because it's all, with us, it's all about supervision. We're very low. We've been without a deputy chief for 8-9 months now. We're down 2 captains. Now, last year, if you remember, I know a couple of you were up here, we did a little change with our schedule, and we thought that that was going to help our overtime and the amount of money that we're spending. I hate to say it, but it's not, it didn't work. So we're going to need to make those changes and add the supervision to it. And that would substantially, I can't say how low it would be, but that will lower our overtime a great deal. Hiring itself is big because we are a community-oriented police department, and we want to maintain that. Everybody knows Remo D'Alessandro was our community officer. He retired last year. That's a big void. We have another officer, Ross, that's doing the job now. We'd like to build on that. In our budget, we asked for a civilian to assist with community relations. I think that's moving in the right direction. We try to teach our guys and girls that work with us, our officers, community relations is not just one specific person. So we try to get them in that right mode, but we do need point people for that position. We have a lot of different functions that go on in town, and we'd like to be at them. You saw, Mayor, the response we had to the Night to Shine, which was a big success. And that's, Captain Carney's big with that, dealing with them. And those are the guys that just come out to volunteer, which is great. That's unusual in our line of work where, guys will just volunteer, but they see the need for it, and that's a great cause. So most of what we have down here in our presentation that we gave you is, like I said, it's our chain of command, our accomplishments that we've had in the past. We just got reaccredited. Well, we're in the process of getting reaccredited through the state police chiefs, which is a big task. Those of you that know what that's all about. That's the best practices for police departments throughout the state. And our officers all did a great job in participating in that, because there was a lot of things that need to be done by every rank and different officers handing in reports and practices. So I'm very proud of the officers in the department. I can't say enough how good your police department is. And it has nothing to do with us sitting up here. It's the guys that are working on the road, the officers on the road. They're trained up. They are very aware of their surroundings, the people in the community. They really do care about the community. We've hired a lot of different people from town. Probably our last 20 or 30 guys were mostly local throughout the county, and I think that's a big plus for us. And I'd like to continue that. We do want to get a little more diversity in our department. I don't say that in the sense of I want to pick one specific group of people. I want the best people that we have. But if there's a tie, I'd like to get some more women, and I'd like to get some more different diverse groups in our police department. So a lot of the when we hear from the community, a lot of it has to do with traffic. We've had meetings today about trucks going down certain roads that they're not supposed to go down. So traffic enforcement is big with us. We have boosted up our traffic division in the past. Again, hiring more people will allow us to put different people in different spots that they could focus solely on that. Our production has gone up. If you notice in here, going back to the community, you could see the 65 presentations that we did last year. And again, that was one guy organizing it. It would be great if we could have a couple of guys going around, to do that. But if you notice here with the crime statistics, overall our crime has been down. You'll notice here that burglaries went up, but overall crime has been down, and our calls for service have gone up. So just from last year, we went up about 2,000 calls. Now, if you go into later in the packet, there's another part that talks about calls for service also, and the number's a lot higher. That number is, these calls on that first page are the ones where people are calling us. The other one is every police action that they're doing. So there's about a 30,000 difference with that. Our summonses have gone up, our car stops have gone up, and our arrests have gone up. So the guys are working hard. And they're not complaining about it either. So it's not like, I'm coming here to tell a tale of woe. It's really great for guys like us that have been around for a while to see the younger guys taking an interest in this profession that we love. So it really says something about how they're trained, and also the guys that have been here already, just leading them along, along that right path. We are closing a lot more cases. We closed 384 cases last year. So those are follow-ups from the investigative division. And we have 93 cases that are open now, which is down from the 97, and we closed almost 100 more than we did last year. So, like I said, our total calls for service is 75,000, and that's car stops, police actions, property checks, and that stuff. We currently have 13 officers that are for telecommunications, so we have 12 full-time. We just hired our last one, so that gives us full staffing there, and we have a full-time supervisor for communications. They do a fantastic job. That's a 24/7 operation, as everybody knows. We have a half of them probably have been here a while, and the other ones are fairly new, but they're all doing very good work, getting people, and they take an interest that it's more of a personalized thing than maybe being someplace else. So budget highlights, increased staffing, including supervisory and command staff. Our population growth is expected to continue to increase. Monday through Friday, we probably double our population. And we're continuing to want to civilianize more positions. So in this budget, I only asked for one full-time civilian position, that would be the community policing, and one more part-time position that would assist in body camera work and Oprah, and that's a full-time job in and of itself. But we have one person doing that now. It would help greatly if we had somebody else to help. With body cameras, if you Oprah a body camera and there's 5 people on a call, and the call's 2 hours, that's 10 hours of video that you have to watch and redact. So it takes a full day basically just to do that one. And we get quite a lot. We do get people that I think are doing it as a career, just asking for body cameras and different Oprah stuff. So it makes it a little difficult. These two guys are good at the technology aspect of it. So if you have any questions about, the radio systems, a lot of that is upkeep. They're, by all means ask. And our in-service training, meeting required guidelines and directives by the AG guidelines, special orders. We use Power DMS for all our training, or most of our training, we use Power DMS, and we have mandated training that we need to do. So guys are constantly being trained, whether it's through the Attorney General guidelines, the county, or whatever operation that we have. That's all I have for now. I really look forward to working with the new council members, and again, I really am confident in this police department and the way they work, and they really do care about the community, and I think that's the main thing.
Thank you, Chief. At this time, if council has any questions for the police?
Well, I want to thank you for your thorough presentation. I really appreciate all you guys do. You do have an exemplary department, and that's known throughout the county. I do have a question about the system of, are you guys, and this is going to show that I really don't know about the communications, but when the fire departments and everybody changed their whole system in the county, are you guys on the same system?
So we do our own dispatch.
Okay.
I think currently now, and you looked at the right person when you glanced down.
Yeah.
Jay could go into a little bit more about the fire companies, which we have 4 that come with us, and the other 2 are up at the county. So we would love to have everybody with us, because that's just more efficient that way and more effective. But we do have some fire companies that branched off. And it's, they felt that was better for them, and that's fine. We'll always be willing to try to get them back, but
Okay.
that's totally up to them, how they would come back.
Okay, that's great. Well, we can talk about that too another time. Also, I know you're asking for 10 because you're losing people and people are retiring. coming. You also added some people in the last couple of years, so this is just an ongoing.
Yes, it's an ongoing. So I just happen to have that sheet right in front of me. So in 20, we lost 4 guys, 21, 4, 22, 8, 23, 11, 24, 6, and 25, 7. So if you notice, the number's hovering around the 10 area. And again, that by the time we get them through the police academy and get them trained up, we have a whole another cycle of people that are going to leave. So it's a constant catch up for us. This is, what we think, maybe there's like a couple of weeks in the winter where we're not thinking about it. But the rest of the time is just constantly, thinking about hiring and just getting the men on the road.
Got it.
Yeah.
You just never feel like.
Yeah, we had, so
you can rely.
I know there's a resolution that says that when somebody leaves, we hire. Again, that would be fantastic, and it's great that we have that, but it would be a lot easier if we were like everybody else and we could just hire people and put them into place. It's literally a year from the time they apply, going through the academy, the whole process, the FTO, field training officer, and then get them on the road. So, like we have a deadline now. It's probably, I would say probably 2 weeks. We have to start getting them in to, getting the backgrounds and applications and everything in. So,
Okay, understood.
yeah, and we do lose some people along the way.
Yeah.
That apply, and then once we lose them, it's a little too late. So,
Okay. I have no more questions.
I just have a quick, I know on the sheet here, it says current staff are at 95. So out of that 10, but a lot of these openings that we have, those positions are already in the budget. They just haven't been filled.
right. So our supervisor positions are in the budget. So if we were to promote, they would be there already. So we're only dealing with people coming in. But yes, I know what you're saying, that they're.
Like we were supposed to have 4 more in this academy class that didn't make it for
Right.
whatever reason.
Right, yeah, so we had 5 apply last year. We were going to hire 5, and we only got 2. So, and then once you start out of the gate, you're done.
Yeah.
You can't get anybody else.
See, that's the problem
At
for
that
the public.
point.
It's at least a 6 to 8 month process from day one, once you start looking to hire somebody, till they get hired and get out of the academy. And then there's what they call the FDO program, where they're riding with somebody for another
18 weeks.
18 weeks. So it takes that long to get a trained officer actually on the road.
Yeah.
Chief, of the 23 you lost in the last few years, because we do have that resolution, were they not rehired?
So, off the top of my head, I don't remember what we hired last year for the whole year. It all depends on timing. So, I think the intent was there to hire, but by the time it came up, the budget passed. We're already past that one part, so it really came up to January. And then, like I said, we went for 5 in January. We only got 2. So, yeah. We're not really moving ahead. We're just maintaining.
Yeah, so the 10 will keep you at a static 95-ish over the end of the year, or we're saying we'll get you back up around
Well, I'm
103?
thinking, if everything's as normal,
Yeah,
when they're on the road, we'll probably be back in around the same spot, maybe 1 or 2,
okay.
more. If it goes, usually we get guys that leave, after September, between September and December.
And all our promotions are internal hires, correct? So we're taking from within and moving up?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Yeah, we don't hire from outside.
Thank
for
you.
that.
And what is the starting salary we hire at with police officers?
If I'm not 100% correct, I think it's 50,000.
It's
Yeah, roughly
Yes, 50 and
50,000.
change.
Yeah.
And then you had also, sorry, give me 1 second. I had a question. So it had mentioned that we needed upgrading in the fleet. How often would you say we need to upgrade the fleet, and how large? is
Every
that
year.
cost? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, every year. So if you notice, past budgets, we always put in our capital budget for cars.
Okay.
Because again, they're running nonstop.
Gotcha.
They're just, and our garage does a great job. And I failed to say before, I talk a lot about the officers, but our civilian personnel is fantastic. You know, they're doing a lot with less. And our garage is, over the past, I want to say 5 or 6 years, has just transformed. It's night and day what it was. And yeah, and they work for the other parts of the town also, so they do other township vehicles. So, yeah, but our fleet needs to be upgraded every year.
Do you have an idea of how much that typically costs us in a year just for the fleet alone?
So that would be in the capital. What do we have for maintenance now? About 600 to 700,000 for cars.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
because we ask for usually 5 or 6 cars. So,
Thank you.
okay.
Any other questions from council? Okay, seeing none, I want to thank you, Chief, and thank you, Captain Carney and Captain Wieners, for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So you guys can just stick around for a little bit, okay? Okay, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and call up the water department. Come on up, Sean.
Thank you so much.
Where we going, John?
Thank you.
Hey, Sean, before you get started, I just want to say thank you to you and all of the members of the water department. I know we've experienced a ton of water main breaks over the winter. Do you know, off the top of your head, do you know how many? Say,
50, I think.
Close to 50.
Yeah, we're at like 56 right now, I believe.
56 water.
This year alone.
And these guys are out in, minus 10-degree weather, fixing these things in the middle of the night. So just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. And that's all to our rank and file staff. The guys are out doing the repairs. That's not me. They don't want me out there doing that pipe work. So that's totally, that goes to our rank and file staff.
Please convey that to me.
I definitely will. Thank you for that. Good evening, members of the Township Council, residents, and colleagues. As the Township's water superintendent, I am responsible for directing and managing the operations, staff, strategic planning, and business activities of the utility, ensuring compliance with state and federal regulations. The Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills owns and operates what is considered a large public community water system. Public utilities such as this water department are regulated by the federal EPA and State Department of Environmental Protection. This department is in charge of and is responsible for the supply, chemical treatment, and distribution of safe drinking water throughout the township. Approval of this budget will ensure that the utility is appropriately staffed and equipped to maintain water supply, adequate fire protection, and the uninterrupted delivery of water to the township's residents and ratepayers, which speaks directly to this budget statement requesting $6.9 million in operating and $20 million in capital appropriation for this fiscal year. Our budget request this evening will be presented by my management team, comprised of Water Department Engineer Sophia Dyer, who handed out our agenda, Assistant Superintendent Kevin Busent, who will provide a summary of our operations and operational goals for this year, Environmental Engineering Aide Gregory Schneeman, who will review the utility's compliance requirements and water quality challenges, followed by a review of our capital program. In 2025, the Water Department produced and delivered 2 billion gallons of water to our ratepayers, generating $12.4 million in revenue. Water production directly affects what is known as firm capacity. Firm capacity refers to the water supply available, even when the largest source of supply is out of service, ensuring reliable water delivery during peak demands. The township's firm capacity 1 year ago was 9.2 million gallons of water per day. due to the aggressive capital improvement approach we have taken. In conjunction with this council support, approval of public funds, and the township's borrowing capacity, we were able to successfully increase our own source supplies, resulting in a total firm capacity of 10.8 million gallons of water per day, securing our resources for future development and growing population.
Good evening, council and administration. My name is Kevin Busen, Assistant Superintendent of the Parsippany Water Department. Thank you for the opportunity to present our $6.9 million operating budget. Parsippany holds the highest classification for both water distribution and treatment system size as defined by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection under NJAC 710A rules governing the licensing of water supply and wastewater treatment system operators. The water department is staffed 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We maintain a large and diverse fleet, including administrative vehicles, utility trucks, emergency response vehicles, dump trucks, excavating equipment, valve turning equipment, forklifts, and portable generators. All vehicles are routinely serviced to extend their useful life. However, due to aging equipment, we budget for the replacement of 2 vehicles annually. The Water Department Operations Division is organized into 3 units: Distribution Unit, the Services and Meter Unit, and the Supply and Treatment Unit. We have recently added an engineer to our staff to assist with capital improvement projects and strengthen long-term planning and project oversight. Our distribution system includes 280 miles of water main, approximately 15,500 service connections and meters, 1,900 fire hydrants, and 4,000 inline gate valves. A system of this size requires consistent annual investment in vehicles, emergency response equipment, tools, materials, and personnel. Our staff responds to a wide range of water-related emergencies, including water main breaks. These breaks can be caused by factors such as pipe age and material, pressure fluctuations, ground settlement, corrosive soil, freezing conditions, thermal contraction, and seasonal temperature changes. In 2025, we responded to and repaired 51 water main breaks. So far this year, we have already addressed 50. In addition, the department inspects and maintains every public fire hydrant annually to ensure optimal water quality and reliable fire protection. Each spring and summer, staff also exercise and inspect a portion of our gate valves. These inspections generate a list of non-functioning assets which are promptly repaired to maintain system reliability. Crews routinely inspect water service lines and curb stop shutoffs. Inoperable components and outdated galvanized services are replaced as needed. Water meters are also tested for accuracy and upgraded when necessary to ensure proper measurement of consumption. Our increased budget request reflects the department's ongoing commitment to providing uninterrupted water service to our residents. The high standards upheld by our staff ensure continued compliance with the DEP's Water Quality Accountability Act. Our supply and treatment unit operates 19 wells and water treatment plants, 6 booster stations, and 10 storage tanks across 6 pressure gradients. Tighter regulations for the removal of PFAS will require upgrades to each source well to meet new standards. These upgrades have already begun. Well 21R is an advanced oxidation treatment facility designed to remove 1,4-dioxane and utilizes carbon adsorption for hydrogen peroxide and PFAS removal. Our well 1AR uses ion exchange technology for PFAS treatment. Both facilities require regular media replacement to maintain treatment effectiveness, which is reflected in the $625,000 budget line item. Looking ahead, all water sources will require PFAS treatment. Additionally, all wells and booster stations are equipped with pumps, motors, control valves, and SCADA monitoring systems, all of which require ongoing maintenance and servicing. In conclusion, this operating budget supports the maintenance and operation of the critical infrastructure managed by the Water Department. Our mission is to provide safe, reliable drinking water to the nearly 60,000 Parsippany residents. We take pride in delivering high-quality water and maintaining strong public trust. Joining us this evening to speak further about water quality is our environmental engineer, Gregory Schneeman. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Greg Schneeman. I'm the environmental engineer for the Parsippany Water Department. My responsibilities include, but are not limited to, water treatment, monitoring water quality, and regulatory compliance. We maintain safe drinking water across the entire Parsippany distribution system. The Water Department is purely a community-based corporation. It's staffed and operated by members of the community who ultimately make decisions on a daily basis by asking ourselves first, is this in the best interest of the township and the residents who we serve? Not is this in the best interest of some distant corporation or stock shareholders. We field calls on a personal basis and address residents' concerns about water quality, answer their questions immediately. And we do that on a very personal basis by visiting their homes. Our department, like our administration, has an open door policy for residents to voice any water quality concerns. The department is focused on transparency and publishes all water quality data in our Consumer Confidence Report annually, and that's published on parsippany.net/water report. Resident health is our priority and is the top consideration during all utility decision-making. Providing clean, safe drinking water to our critical customers and vulnerable populations such as elderly, children, hospitals, dialysis centers, medical offices, their needs are always met. We have 19 active wells, 2 consecutive connections, and several distribution sampling points. We routinely monitor and test throughout the Parsippany distribution system. The Parsippany Department testing and monitoring budget for 2026 was reduced this year. The budget reduction is the result of bringing certain testing analysis in-house in an effort to focus on sustainability and also to expedite the time it takes to get our results. Some parameters that we test for are volatile organic compounds, semi-organic compounds, radiological compounds, inorganics, secondaries, 1,4-dioxane, lead and copper, PFAS, iron and manganese, disinfectant byproducts, coliform bacteria, and orthophosphate. Our system has been without a single violation since 2023, and we are currently in compliance with all state and federal drinking water standards. Optimum water quality parameters are maintained for corrosion control and to maintain our infrastructure. We have a full accounting of all galvanized service lines within our inventory. With council support, the water utility is and will continue to work on the removal and replacement of all lead and galvanized water lines within the township over the next 5 years by the DEP deadline of 2031. The utility has, over the past year, commissioned 2 new PFAS treatment plants and plans to upgrade and combine source water facilities efficiently to remove and comply with the 2030 DEP PFAS deadline. The water utility monitors water quality, ensures resident health and safety. We humbly perform these duties without a need for acknowledgement or praise. The water quality improvement projects of this utility will undertake over the next few years will have a profound ripple effect and an unquantifiable impact to the overall health of the population of Parsippany for generations to come by reducing the overall risks associated with these emerging contaminants. Sean will now be presenting an overview of some active and completed projects that we have identified by our Parsippany Water team of professionals. These projects will support and benefit our local community and its growing water needs.
So as a township and utility, we've accomplished a lot over the past calendar year, investing $8.6 million in capital appropriations. And as discussed earlier, the increase in firm capacity is a direct result of the replacement and redevelopment of underproducing wells, as well as mechanical and process improvements made to our treatment facilities and booster pumping stations throughout the system. Our infrastructure is aging and well past its service life. Last year, we successfully replaced 2,300 linear feet of water main in some of the more vulnerable areas in our system, adding to the resiliency of the distribution network. To remain in compliance with the state's revised lead and copper rule, we are continuing to facilitate the township's lead and galvanized service line replacement program, keeping us on track to get the lead out by 2031. This utility requires significant investment in building and maintaining infrastructure, such as the ones previously discussed. To cover the cost of providing a safe and reliable supply of water, our billing and tax collections office must be able to bring in revenue, which relies heavily on accurate metering. Accurate metering reduces unaccounted for water and drives utility revenue. Phase 2 of the township's meter replacement program is on schedule. The water department operates and maintains 10 steel water storage tanks at a total capacity of 10.5 million gallons. The township stores its water strategically by gradient zones and at higher elevations in order for gravity to push the water downward, generating the necessary pressure to flow through pipes and into homes. We invest over $2 million per year towards the maintenance of these tanks, in an effort to reduce total costs incurred to the township, help stabilize our budget by spreading costs over time without new debt, and eliminate the risk of a coding system failure. In coordination with the finance and purchasing departments, we have finalized our public-private partnership by entering into a contract with Utility Service Group. As demonstrated in our 2024 PFAS feasibility and master planning study, PFAS is present in our water supply. As Greg previously mentioned, we have successfully commissioned 2 PFAS treatment plants associated with replacement groundwater wells. Our 3rd treatment plant is slated to start construction this fall, with treatment plants 4 and 5 to be shovel-ready by 2027. This will result in a total of 8.1 million gallons per day of PFAS-free water. 5 additional treatment plants are planned for construction in 2028 through 2031 to meet the new MCL compliance. Parsippany remains a leader in the drinking water industry. We are in compliance with the Safe Drinking Water Act and are proactive towards the maintenance and improvements of the township supplies, treatment facilities, and infrastructure. These capital improvement projects will have a profound ripple effect and immeasurable impact on the overall health of our ratepayers for generations to come. Our staff monitors water quality, ensures resident health and safety, and humbly performs these duties. $20 million in capital investments this year keep us on track with our goals. By working closely with our CFO, business administrator, and mayor, we have already made the strategic cuts to not only keep this utility self-liquidating and sustainable, but to reliably deliver safe drinking water to our customers. At this time, we are happy to address any questions you may have regarding our 2026 budget statement request. Thank you.
Thank you for taking care of all of our most precious resource. So you've finished 2 wells. I mean, treatment centers for 2 wells.
Correct.
Right. And they both are, you both treat them differently?
Yeah, they have 2
Okay, yeah.
very differing treatment technologies.
Can I ask why?
Yeah, so we've done our own research and have worked closely with our consultants on this. And, you know, PFAS is an emerging contaminant, right?
Yeah.
The treatment technology for that hasn't been proven long-term. You know, we are part of that group proving it out long-term.
So you're proving it?
Yeah, we know it works.
Okay.
You know, the technology out there is permitted by the state DEP, but there's not a lot of data out there in terms of media life expectancy. There's studies, but again, these treatment plants are newer. It's not like they've been around for 20 years. We don't have 20 years worth of data, but we do know the treatment works. What it boils down to is cost effectiveness, and in our case, really, it's real estate. Our wells are not on big pieces of property. Our one well, which you have pictures of, our well 21R treatment facility, that's a carbon facility. It's primarily treating for 1,4-dioxane removal, which has an AOP system like Kevin explained. Advanced oxidation process uses UV treatment to break down 1,4-dioxane chains present in the water. Before we pass that water through the UV light, we have to oxidize that water with an oxidant. That's done by the injection of hydrogen peroxide in the water. Once we inject that, it goes through UV. We destroy the 1,4-dioxane chains. We then have to remove that peroxide before we deliver it to our customers. We do that by means of carbon filters. The carbon filters remove that dioxane by adsorption. We have the added benefit at that facility with the carbon to also adsorb the PFAS chains that are present in the water. So that 21R facility, again, it's a 1,4-dioxane plant primarily, but we have the added benefit of carbon to also remove PFAS.
Okay.
We had more space there to put these GAC vessels. It's hard to see in those pictures, but let's just take a 2 million gallon per day well would need 4 carbon vessels that are 12 feet in diameter each and well over 2 stories tall. We don't have that real estate throughout the township where our current wells sit. Our well 1AR facility, which you have photos of, did not really have that real estate available. So we chose to go with a ion exchange treatment for that. Long term, these other facilities are going to mostly be by ion exchange,
Okay,
which are
that's
again,
where I was wondering, because you have all these other wells.
yeah, and
So-
again, it's coming down to real estate.
Okay.
Operationally, I think collectively we prefer operating as water operators ourselves to operate carbon facilities, but we just don't have the real estate there.
Okay. And when you had that annual firm capacity wheel dip, was that after the drought?
That dip that we show on our graph?
Yeah.
So that dip was when we had to take existing well 21 offline and existing well 1A offline to facilitate the construction of the replacement wells and treatment facilities.
Okay. All right. I know it costs a lot. I know you have a lot to do, and I know the lead and galvanized is all mandated, and I really don't have any questions because you got to do what you got to do.
That's it.
All right. Anybody
Okay.
else have questions on,
I have
for the water?
So first, thank you for the 56 water main breaks that you guys fixed this year so far. We really
You're welcome.
appreciate you. So when you go out and fix a water main break, do you guys update or upgrade the piping if it's lead and galvanized at the same time, or is it just replaced and then it's a later down the line project?
So if a water main large diameter pipe breaks, we are just repairing the pipe either by throwing or installing a repair clamp on it. And there's times when we can't just put a repair clamp in it, we have to replace pipe where we cut a section of failed water main and put a new piece of water main in. If we do expose a lead or galvanized service, we are required by law to then make the provisions and replace that. So yes, if we do expose it, we are replacing it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Sean, in the past, you've talked about the 50-year problem of our pipes in our town, and you mentioned you replaced about 2,300 linear feet. How much more do you have to go? As I recall, it was miles and miles and miles.
Yeah, so we have about 250 miles of water main throughout the town. We have made a very, very, very small dent in that, but, and as you remember, Councilman, I brought up that 150-year plan.
Yep.
That was a requirement of the state DEP. We were required to come up with a 150-year water main replacement plan. I don't know the numbers, but we have a long way to go. It's going to go past our lifetime.
None of us will be here.
No, thank you
got you.
for it.
No, just say that.
But the plan's in place.
Yeah.
So we can confidently turn it over to the next.
So you get an A for the
superintendent.
plan and an F for execution, because we haven't executed yet, so.
We've executed it.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of time. So.
So part of the concern is obviously you guys are almost at the same number of water main breaks now as you did all of last year, right? What's the risk on these pipes if they should have been replaced 50 years ago? So as I recall, it's like $400 a linear square foot. times 5280 a mile, times 250 miles, right? What's the, I guess, what are we budgeting for? What are we anticipating for the rest of this year in terms of other water main breaks? Like, do we have some sort of like view into that or potential view?
So I feel our budget, the budget we're requesting now is it should take care of the labor and material we'll need for anticipated water main breaks. Did we come into 2026 anticipating 100 breaks by the end of this year? Sorry, Kev. No. But we are well-staffed. We have very good staff that responds to our emergencies, very well-trained staff. And we store a lot of material on site on a regular basis. So when we do come up with emergency, we're not scrambling to find material. We have it all. So we're in a good place now. I don't see a need for us, unless we have something catastrophic beyond our abilities, or beyond what we're anticipating as routine water main breaks that we can take care of within this budget this year.
Perfect.
If that answers your question.
Any other questions from council? Okay, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for your time, and I also want to echo what the council has said, and thank you for all your efforts you guys have done with those water main breaks. I mean, I do see the effort you guys put in, and you guys are incredible. You're out there, it's freezing cold, you guys are done within hours, it's amazing, so thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, come on up, Joe, we got sewer next.
Okay, hello?
Oh, it's on.
You don't need it, but we need it for the record. I do agree with you.
Joe doesn't need a microphone.
Water department,
Hello?
you got seats up front. Sean,
Hello. Here you go.
you got seats up front.
Stereo? Yes, sir?
Okay, thank you. Joe Beckmeyer, the sewer superintendent, Greg Alba, the assistant, Gina Calabrese, office manager. Thank you all. First, I want to thank the administration for pushing our budget forward as we presented it, basically. And in the past, we've always had very good rapport with the council, made the presentations, and our recommendations were accepted, so thank you. For the most part, well, first thing I want to let the sewer utility, we run and operate advanced wastewater treatment plant permitted at 16 million gallons a day. We do about 9 to 10 million gallons a day. In addition to almost all of Parsippany, we also handle wastewater from East Hanover, most of Montville, all of Mountain Lakes, and some of Denville. And one of the things to remember is that our budget is funded by the user charges, the sewer rates charged to the customers, again, based on their water consumption. In fact, in the past capital budgets, we've already put money in to help Sean buy new water meters, replace the water meters, so we get accurate readings for our wastewater charges. But in addition to that we really don't affect the budget, since 40% of our flow comes from those customer municipalities I mentioned, the 4 of them, 40% of the revenue expenses at the treatment plant are paid by those municipalities. So it's not always just Parsippany residents paying for it, but it's spread out somewhat. So as we go through, our budget is basically flat. We don't have the problems with water main breaks or collapses like that as much as the water department does. Our pipes are usually deeper, and we really haven't had that many problems. If we had small problems, we take care of it. Our biggest issue is usually with the house connections, because in Parsippany, from the sewer main down the middle of the street to the curb line is basically our responsibility, and then everything from the curb line to the house is the homeowner's responsibility.
we try to work with them, and in fact, we have it on our website, that if you notice a problem in your house, give us a call first. We'll try to put you in the right direction, because sometimes citizens will call up a contractor or a sewer cleaner, and they'll tell them they need a whole new sewer line, and we find out it's not even their problem, it's our problem. We'll solve it for them because we're responsible at no charge to them. Gina handles, in addition to keeping the finances in order, she works with the finance department and the purchasing department and so on. She also takes all of the calls during the day from the citizens when they have complaints, and then dispatches the crews to go make the repairs. Greg basically makes sure I don't make mistakes or forget anything, so we keep things running. Also, he handles all of the safety training and so on, which we do free of charge through the JIF, which makes it easier for us. I think we buy pizza, so we keep everybody around so we don't get lost during the day. But we keep the place running. Our budget is basically flat as what we control. There are parts of the budget that are beyond our control, such as the salary increases that are by contract and health care and things like that that are beyond our control. But basically, we have vehicle expenses up $5,000, vehicle equipment up $5,000, consulting services up $5,000, mid and high voltage testing. Again, with the corrosive atmosphere, we have equipment down there that needs to be tested and so on. Not a capital, but a operating thing. Last year we put in about 70,000. However, we only spent 45. Sometimes trying to get projects out of the street and bid them and get the POs and something. It's challenging as we try to follow the local public contract law to the T. Most towns don't. We're doing it here, and it's something we got used to, but it just takes more time to do it. So we're looking for additional money there to make up what we didn't spend last year. We put a new line item in. As the treatment plant gets more sophisticated and the pump stations and so on, with SCADA and so on, we've gone where we have a person that basically handles all that electronics and controls and so on. So we've separated it, taken out of electrical repairs and put it as a separate account so we can monitor those expenses better. Equipment maintenance upgrade, $5,000, heating, $10,000, house line repairs, another $10,000, incinerator control, we reduced $10,000. We used to use some of the money for control panels and so on. We've now reduced that because we're moving over to the other line item. Laboratory supplies, $10,000. Laboratory testing, $5,000. Legal reduced by $50,000. We're trying to get that so it's properly charged to our accounts. But again, many times the legal costs are tied into the capital project with contractors and so on, so we can pay for that out of the capital money, the miscellaneous funds that are part of that capital project. Office supplies are down $3,000. Plumbing supplies up $5,000. Repairs to our meters at the treatment plant are down $5,000. Safety $5,000 increase, and security $10,000 increase. And the net for that is basically is $132,000 increase over the parts of the budget we control. Two things I want to point out though is in the budget item 505 is called infiltration and irrigation, and I'm going to work with Angelica to change that to really is inflow and infiltration, so we get what the proper term is, and that's at $50,000. And also the purchase of water. In the past, we've gone at $160,000. We're now down to $125,000, and we think a lot of that was due to the elimination of pump station number 4. You might have. Pump station number 1 was one of the big projects on the north side of Route 46 and 80, and my concern always was, since it was constructed in the 60s, what happens if the pipe under the highway fails? How do I get the sewage from the north side to the south side without throwing hoses over Route 80, and that would be a problem, Route 46. So we wound up getting, did a low interest loan through the infrastructure trust, and we wound up eliminating the pump station and tunneling a 48-inch pipe onto those highways So it comes to the Troy Metal Interceptor, which was underutilized. So now we've eliminated that pump station, all of the O&M that goes along with it. We don't have to replace it. We don't have to replace the force main. In addition to that, we wound up getting a $4.3 million grant through Congresswoman Sherrill's office. However, we were too far advanced, so we've moved that grant over to other projects, and we wound up getting $2 million of principal forgiveness from the DEP because we've eliminated the electric costs and so on. Looks like we're reduced our electricity about $1,300 a month, and water about 14,500 gallons per day by eliminating that pump station. So we've helped around any way we can. Also, we have on staff by us, we have the township plumbers and the township electricians, and we go around and help the other departments where they need it. Also, improvements here in Town Hall and other municipal buildings. And that's about it for operations. And under the capital, the biggest repair is replacement of the inlet valves to our final clarifiers. They are 36-inch butterfly valves down in the tunnel, and if they fail, we can't isolate different clarifiers. We'd overload some, and we'll be able to maintain them. Other than that, some vehicles, aeration system improvements, planned HVAC unit for the main office, redo the men's locker room to get it started, and a couple of vehicles. It's one of those things where I had a discussion with a reporter yesterday, and it was tried to explain that everybody flushes the toilet, no one knows where it goes or cares where it goes. But if it doesn't work,
that's when we care.
They're on the phone. They call Gina, what's going on? How do we fix this? And it's our responsibility to go out and respond to the complaints and get the system back up and running. So we've been fairly successful in doing that, and we've got a few letters of congratulations and thanks from some of the citizens. We appreciate for anything we got. And that's about it. No additional, we had one open position from last year, and everything else is flat. We just filled these same positions where people leave. Again, one of the issues is as the DEP now puts in new regulations, we now have it where we can't use chlorine to disinfect our wastewater because of the CPOs, trihalomethanes and so on produced, that we've gone to peracetic acid. Well, in the laboratory it works good. Again, we're probably looking to a project in the future to switch to another process to get that taken care of. But again, the DEP puts a new regulation through, and they just say, okay, you meet the permit. Well, how do you do it? Well, we don't know, but you'll figure it out somehow. And if you're not, we'll hit you with fines and penalties and so on. So we work with them as well as possible. But again, they depend mainly on the permittees like we are to find solutions to the problem. A big problem we have coming up next year is, I think hopefully next year, is the long-term biosolids project. When the treatment plant was built back in the 60s, they had digesters which would basically cook the sludge to reduce the volume at certain temperatures and destroy the organics and the material there. Then in the 80s, they went to sludge incinerators. And then after that, the township had a contract with a major sludge disposal company to redo the incinerators, and Parsippany would just take our sludge and other outside sludge and operate the incinerators, refurbish them, and so on. That was about 2018. They want, my God, 2018. They pulled out of the contract, leaving us with nothing. So now we've done a study. It's been going on, and we're into design right now where we will be redoing the digesters, which will be reducing the volume of sludge significantly. Instead of having like 5 trucks leave the plant a day to take it to a landfill in Ohio, we'll probably only have 1 to 2 a day. In addition, we've already been talking to the county as taking food waste in, which will be generating additional biogas as more organic material is put into it. And then the biogas can be used on site for heating and also electric generation, which should be another phase of that project. But that'll be coming on. The other thing is that when you go to an advanced wastewater treatment plant and you use more sophisticated equipment, sometimes they don't last as long as the old things did. Sometimes, I know some people used to have cars for like 15, 20 years, and everybody gets a new car like in 3 to 5 years. So those are the things that change, where the new technology sometimes requires additional and sooner replacement to keep that high level of efficiency up. And therefore, we have to hire the employees and train them to be able to take care of this equipment. We've been fortunate. We have a core of good individuals, and we handle the problems that come up. And again, one of the big tasks is when do we handle it in the house, and when is it time to have it go outside to an outside contractor? Because you have to know what's beyond your ability to do things. So we've got that pretty well under control now. And I tell people it's finally, after me being there 10 years, I now have a staff that I'm not afraid to go on vacation, which is a good sign. So
Good.
that's basically the presentation. Greg, anything else? Yeah, usually I say,
No, you're speaking up for everybody, Joe.
once I start, I go. But they're here to help me in case I forget anything, so, thank you.
Any questions from council?
Joe, you speak for everybody, sure. You started with EPA, huh? You probably started when EPA was starting, right?
No,
In your school?
when they started, it was a couple years later, but.
Anyway, I did get a tour of the plant. It started as a primary, now they're doing tertiary, which is pretty amazing. It's a very great plant, and they get good results. And then we do get the food waste in a year or so. It'll be great if we can, process that. I have nothing to add. It's like water. If with the wastewater stuff doesn't work, then you're like, what? What happened? They're taking care of this thing that's wastewater. It's an amazing thing that you're doing. So I have no questions for you guys. Just keep doing the great work that you do.
Thank you. I just want to add something, though. While we put together, a few came down for a tour, and we put together a presentation. It's like a PowerPoint presentation. Maybe sometime in the future, we can get together and show some of the time or.
I think everybody should see how a plant works.
But with the treatment plan, it's expanded over the years, and basically, you're trying to make the silk purse out of the sow's ear, and you've had old, antiquated ways of doing it. We have tanks that really weren't designed properly for the processes they're doing now, but we have been able to get them to function to meet the permit limits. But it's a challenge because it'd been nice if the entire plant was designed specifically for the process it's running now, but it's not, so we have to change things around and get it to work that way.
Right. Thank you.
Any other questions from council? No? See, Joe, he's always very thorough. You see that? No questions, huh?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right, at this time, we're going to call, it says Department of Public Works, but we're really going to call up Justin and everybody else behind him. Come on up. Hey, Justin. Oh, we gotta do this again. We play, move the magic plane.
I got one. Okay, good evening. I'm Justin Leza, municipal engineer and also the Public Works Director. I oversee not only engineering, but the divisions of Parks and Forestry, streets and roads, and sanitation. And I'd like to just start by thanking all the staff in the 4 divisions that are under Public Works. The guys and girls on a daily basis do a tremendous job. You know, what you saw this winter with the snow removal, I can't thank them enough for what they do. But all of them take a lot of pride in their work, in their job. I appreciate what they do, and I think the results are showing. You know, last year they've made some great strides and continuing through the winter and into this year, and I just want to give kudos for the work that they do. I'm going to present the budget for the engineering division, and then I'll turn over the other budgets to Marge Wilk, who will be doing the sanitation. Ken Murrow will be doing streets and roads, and Bill Sanford, bless you, will be doing parks and forestry. And just on the note with the divisions and way they work, they're all under Public Works. And yeah, they're divisions, but all of them work so well together. It's a very tight-knit group. You know, it's not, probably a day goes by where sanitation isn't relying on streets and roads, or parks and forestry with the streets and roads, or engineering, and it really works well. And these people, you know, foster that togetherness and the work ethic to really make a really good product for the town. I really do, you know, thank you guys. I appreciate for what, the work that you do. As far as engineering, just a quick background. Engineering, there are 8 full-time staff members. We have 2 licensed engineers, one being myself, and then Paul Neath is another one. 3 engineering aides, 2 road inspectors, and an administrative assistant. We also employ part-time help over the summer, and we've been doing that for numerous years, where it gives an opportunity for people to come in, and you know, some of it is clerical work, but if you know, there are engineering students, we put them to work. You know, we give them, you know, real-life experiences in the office on, you know, some minor design related stuff, but also I think, which is more valuable, the construction aspect. And we'll put them in the field doing an inspection with one of our other inspectors, and they get a very good perspective on that aspect of it and how things really come together and are built. And we look forward to continuing that this summer and in the future. Engineering issues about 500 permits a year. You know, the vast majority of them are for soil moving and right-of-way permits, but we have a bunch of other permits that we issue. So it's a very busy office where there's a lot of turnover. We deal a lot with the public, drainage complaints, contractors with all the different types of construction that goes on. And we pretty much monitor any type of construction that's outside of a building per se. You know, the building departments will do their inspections inside the building or the immediate perimeter around it, but any other work that gets done, if it's water, drainage, grading, stormwater, it's all on us to make sure that it's being built properly. So that could be capital improvement projects where it's a road that is designed and we bid. We make sure that it's being built in conformance. We do all the construction administration, like I said, the inspections, but also pay certificates to make sure the contractors are paid for what they appropriately put in. Private sites, we do the construction inspection on the private sites as well. So, you know, we are in charge of making sure that there's compliance with the approved set of plans that the planning board, Board of Adjustment approves. So anything that gets built on the site, it's our responsibility to make sure that, yeah, you know, we're sort of the watchdog for the owner to make sure that they're putting the infrastructure in properly. It's to the specifications, and we do the final approval and work closely with the building department on acceptance before they issue certificate of occupancies. You know, in a nutshell, you know, and I don't want to take away from everyone else's time, that's pretty much what we do. The budget that we're presenting to you tonight is, fairly close to what we've had last year. There's going to be a significant increase in one of the line items for engineering, parks and forestry, and for streets and roads. And that's under the 261 line item, that's computer hardware and software. We are hoping and we want to get moving forward with a computer program that would help make all our lives more efficient. Right now, work orders, inspection reports, permits are all done by hand. I tell you, just a simple right-of-way opening permit for a small 2x2 opening, there's probably 8 or 9 pieces of paper that attach to this permit by the time it's done. It's so inefficient and archaic. So this program, which we're sharing between the 3 departments or divisions, will take care of a lot of those inefficiencies. We want to streamline the process. We want to make it easier for work orders to be created, processed, and completed. There's a huge stormwater management component that is part of this program, which, if you know, the stormwater regulations that we are imposed with by the state and the EPA, every year seems to get harder and harder to comply with. This program will help us track what we do, the inspections, the reporting. Matter of fact, May 1st, we have to do the annual reporting for last year. All our information is on paper. So this program will help streamline that. It'll make us more efficient. There's a huge component with that as far as tracking and the inspection. So that's one of the big changes that you'll see in the engineering end of the budget. There are some minor changes, nothing of really any significant stature, a couple $1,000 one way or another, just more so just to correct some problems that we had in the past with either we're underfunded or overfunded. So for the most part, the operating budget is pretty much intact except for that new computer program. The bulk of our request is really through capital. And you have the capital request, and these are for improvements that we're making for the infrastructure through the town. There are various drainage improvements. It's resurfacing of roadways, fixing handicap ramps, curbs, and sidewalks that are damaged by municipal trees. And then specific projects, so it's upgrading traffic signals, trying to improve the detection on each of them. The flood wall and floodgate improvements, and then roads. We just resurfaced or paved Jefferson Road. We're looking to put a sidewalk in. We've gotten numerous requests from people who work in that area that the buses drop them off, but there's no place for them to walk except in the road. So it's part of a sidewalk improvement there. Fanny Road improvements, improvements to some of the streets up in Glenmont, and some just maintaining the streams and rivers. Just every year with these storms, trees are going down. It's a matter of just desnagging them, trying to open up those waterways so that we can keep the water flowing through those areas. And the other two are just replacement of some of our vehicles that are aged. We try to get it on a 12-year replacement plan. The mileage is, usually in the 70 to 90,000 range. So not real low mileage, but not super high. But it's that stop and go, and the wear and tear on those vehicles really takes a beating. And what we're finding is if we can, replace them after 12 years, it saves a lot on the back end with the downtime, because once a vehicle's down, now we're sharing vehicles and trying to still do the inspections and other work that we need to do in the field. I can open up to any questions on the engineering budget.
No questions?
Anybody?
Okay.
I appreciate everything that you do. We should talk.
Yeah.
A lot of grants out there for some of these things, especially with the MS4 permits.
Yeah, that'd be terrific, yeah. Great, thank you. So now I'll have Marge talk about the sanitation division.
Thank you, everyone, for having me here tonight. Sanitation has a total of 45 employees, 3 in the office and 42 men out on the road. Some of them are in the recycling yard, the yard waste pit, others are supervisors, the rest are on garbage trucks. On a great day, we have 14 trucks out every day picking up garbage, recycling, and yard waste. That doesn't happen too often. So normally when the garbage guys get done, they have a yard waste section that they've got to do. So they're doing double work. I have not requested any new employees. I have one replacement because I have one man that transferred from sanitation over to road. Luckily, we are able to supplement our employees through the Clean Communities Grant. I hire college students that come normally in May, work through August, which helps us out because a lot of our guys, of course, are taking vacation during the summer. We don't really have too much that was increased. We have one line item under, oh my God, I can't even read it. It's a licenses and permits. Every 5 years, we have to relicense our garbage trucks we get stickers from the DEP. And we have 34 trucks at $178. And our dumpsters also have to have a sticker on them. Otherwise, they can't dump at the transfer station. We have 60 dumpsters at a cost of $22 per dumpster. So that's why that increased. Next year, that'll go down because we don't have to pay for that every year. The other increase is in our contract line item. That is where we pay to get rid of everything we recycle. Our vegetative waste, it's normally around $300,000 a year, which goes out to bid. Our tires, our motor oil, our concrete, our asphalt, that all comes out of there. Everything just is going up. As far as capital, it's basically replacing a couple garbage trucks that are 12 years old, 12 years old. A pickup that is 20 years old, 22 years old. Yeah, 22 years old. And another pickup that has a dump on it. That is used for one of the employees if we have a miss on garbage and we got to send somebody out to pick it up. We can't just throw it in a pickup. It's going to fly out. So that costs a little bit more than a normal light pickup. But my guys do a great job. It's the best crew last year, this year, that we've ever had. I hear it all the time from the residents, how great, and the services that the township provides is not provided by any other town, even close. We schedule special pickups for metal. Other towns charge $5 to $10 for each item that they put out. We do bulk pickup Thursdays and Fridays every week. They're really a hard, working group of guys. They supplement road, Kenny, with salting and plowing, and then come off of that and go pick up garbage. I guess that's about it. Have any questions?
Marge, I just want to say, we by far have the best sanitation in the county, probably the state. I mean, you guys are phenomenal, really phenomenal.
Thank you.
You said you do bulk every week, bulk twice a week?
Yes, Thursday on one side of town, Friday on the other side.
That's, just so you know, we're probably the only town in the county, maybe even the state, that does bulk once a week. Just want to put that on the record.
Right?
They are great.
So thank you for that.
And then if they put my newspaper on top of my.
Good evening, everyone. Ken Merle, Superintendent of Streets and Roads. Thank you for having me here tonight. Roads presently has a staff of 28 individuals. 21 are on the road, 7 are mechanics at the garage. I'd like to start out by saying I can't tell you how proud I am of my team after dealing with one of the worst winters we've had in 10 years. Every time I call these guys up, guys and gals, in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, they all answered, thank God. You know, sanitation, parks, water, sewer. I'm grateful to have all, I call them allies, working with us to get through this winter. They were all a big part of it, and I want to thank them all. So, a few things I want to go over. I just want to let you know that the sweepers have been out since March 1st, and they will be going in the neighborhoods when there's no garbage on that day, so they can get to the curb. Okay, but we have been out since March 1st, and we're trying to, our goal is to get the town done twice this year. All right, with 2 sweeper operators, 2 sweepers. So there's 200 miles of roads in Parsippany, and you know, we're doing our best to get that done twice. And once again, I'm very proud of them for doing what they do. Everything is mapped out as far as what we do. So, you know, it's all confirmed. The sign crew is updating our street signs, so they are more visible at night. And they're much larger. They're easier to read during the day as well. People can see them, and they're much nicer than the older ones. Okay. We're also painting crosswalks, stop lines, drainage. There are 6,000 catch basins in town, and we have to make sure that we're compliant with the DEP as far as faceplates. And usually when we pave the roads and do any upgrades, we put the faceplates on the catch basins and we make them compliant. That's so garbage can't go in. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or we'll change the curb back, which is the piece that's by the curb. So nothing can, you know, like plastic or anything can get in it. So we're working on that with Justin, trying to make sure that we're compliant with the DEP. But, you know, like I said, there's 6,000 drains in town. It's a lot. With, you know, the drainage crew has six employees on it, 6 people. So, asphalt crew is still out there filling potholes. And they will be probably at least a few times every week, you know, the whole year. We're doing our best to stay ahead of that, and I'm really proud of the guys for doing such a great job, because there's, once again, a lot of roads in Parsippany, and yes, this winter beat the roads up bad. But we're doing them different than most towns. We're not using hot patch or cold patch, we're using hot asphalt, and we're rolling each pothole. And if you see us out there, we're out there rolling them, we're tacking them, we're milling, we're paving, we're doing our very best to keep the roads intact. And some of them are really bad. And yes, some of them are getting, you know, repaved this year, but the township can only do so much, so we're doing our best to, you know, do what we can do with what we have. With that being said, I'll go into my O&E. Few changes, signs. We're looking to increase our sign because we're getting our new street signs and crosswalk signs. The computer for the OpenGov, like Justin mentioned before, we're putting in for that too. Education and tools, because the cost of tools have gone up with metal going up and everything else. As far as my capital, we're looking to get a hook lift asphalt patcher, which is 8 tons. Right now, our hot boxes only hold 4. So an 8-ton hot box would be, it would make us much more efficient, especially when we're doing water patches. So we definitely could use that. Replacing a 2006 Ford F-350 pickup. Replacing a 2013 Ford F-450 Mason dump. We're requesting a Western Star tri-axle dump truck. And we're replacing one of our sweepers. which is a 2012. And we're, new roller, we're looking to get a new roller because our roller is old and we're piecing it together every day. So, does anybody have any questions?
I like your wish list. It's pretty simple.
No questions? Okay, Billy, you're up.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Bill Sanford, Superintendent of Parks and Forestry. As Justin said earlier, we work with many different departments, including the police department and administration, the IT department. We have a great working relationship with all departments and help out each other. Just to give you a little bit of idea of what the Parks and Forestry Department is responsible for, we maintain all the parks, township sports facilities, and landscape of most of the township buildings. We have over 100 grass stops on our small cut crews, and we maintain roadsides and rights of ways. A right of way would consist of a township tree or clearing roots from sidewalks, working with engineering. Our tree personnel take care of all the trees that are in the right of ways or township properties. We currently have 36 employees to cover the large township, and we would like to hire 3 additional tree people to compensate for the lack of it, for the retirements and a lack of experience. We do plan on training from within. We could potentially have a couple of candidates to move up as opposed to a brand new hire. We are in the process of hiring a secretary to handle our office work and telephone calls. Due to the workload and state mandated and compliance issues, we need additional help to cover all of these things. Aging facilities and new field renovations and necessities are in the works and in the process, most of which we're trying to do with a lot of in-house labor as opposed to hiring some stuff out. Our O&E budget doesn't really change too much. We have a couple of things that we added. Some of our building maintenance we added 5,000 to because our office is aging. We added in education, we added $5,000 to it because we want to get some of these people trained and get some formal training. So when we put them in the tree bucket and chainsaws, they have the appropriate training. Equipment maintenance, we changed $20,000 from another account to put into equipment maintenance. The other account is kind of like a open space type of fund account. And we did that because we can repair some equipment that doesn't quite fit into that category. The gypsy moth, ash borer trees fund, we raised by $50,000. That was on a recommendation of a council meeting last year to try and get ahead of some of the trees that we're taking down. And we're hoping that with the additional tree people that we hire, we can bring that number down in the upcoming years because we'll be able to do more tree work in-house. That's pretty much the major changes in our O&E. And our capital is kind of a big list. We have a lot of aging equipment and a lot of stuff that we're putting a lot of money into. Just for instance, one of the trucks that we rely on a daily basis was in the dealer last year 3 times at a cost of, I think, around $25,000. So that's a big hit. So we're looking to replace some trucks. We used to pride ourselves as having the nicest trucks in the township. Now, unfortunately, we don't have that anymore. So we want to it's not wants, it's more of needs. And we're looking to replace a 2009 hook lift truck, a 2008 pickup truck, a 2014 Ford Transit van, a 2006 F-350 pickup. We need a trailer, a landscape trailer, a single axle dump truck, and another pickup truck. Now, we also do need to do some renovations on some of the bathrooms in our park facilities, because we're looking at 30 years in some of them that, we've just been band-aiding them together. So we really need to start systematically taking a bathroom a year and start renovating some of them. But we narrowed it down to the ones that are in the worst shape to try and do this year, and then next year, look at the other ones. Our department, the employees are definitely working out well. We're learning together. From the lack of experience, or the experience that retired, we're learning together on how to do the jobs that come up, and we're doing a lot of cross-training. So we're trying to get a well-rounded staff back, which is definitely something that we haven't had for like the past six years. So that's pretty much all I have. Is any questions?
Any questions from council?
You can ask your question. So you had mentioned the park bathroom renovations. The park bathroom renovations? Yes. So does this include bathrooms that are not ADA accessible, and are they taking priority, or how does that work?
No, we're gonna look into some grants for those. I didn't put them in this. I only put the ones that are falling down.
Gotcha.
And that we potentially aren't gonna be eligible for some grants. So we're going to be working with Suzanne, Justin, and whoever else to try and figure out if we can get funding through, I forget what's that, CDBG money, or other types of things.
Okay, thank you so much.
What is CDBG?
Community Development Block Grant.
Oh, okay. You've been doing great, so, I mean, but you're saying there's a lack of experience, but you've been doing great. You had a lot going on in the last few years. How is it going with the ash trees this last year?
With the $50,000 that we had last year, which brought the recommendation to do the $100,000 this year, we were 2 years behind on the list. And what happened is, as we were progressing and the list was moving at a steady pace, we had retirements. So with that being said, now our tree staff is at a minimal right now. We're training a couple of guys. We did hire one guy that is a tree guy, so we would like to put him in one of these tree positions. So that's going to save there. But as far as like, we have to hire out for the assistants, which we're hoping with the additional tree positions, we won't have to do as much and we'll be able to catch up. So we're about a year and a half behind now. We did catch up to about, a year and a half a year. But as storms come, time progresses, the list becomes the second priority when we're in an emergency situation. So we're not always on the list every single day.
Got it.
So our goal is to have a truck on the list every single day and have the pop-up stuff being handled by less experienced people. If it's on the ground, it's not as dangerous,
Right.
So
that's why you need people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I just say something before
Sure.
we go into public session? Just quickly back to the Department of Public Works. Just want to say thank you to you guys for everything you did with the snow. It was an immense amount of snow, and there were so many roads to clear. I don't think I've ever felt so safe to drive after a snowstorm. The roads were that clear. So thank you so much. You guys stayed up all hours of the night. You guys did not get sleep for days, and we are so appreciative of all the work you did. We couldn't do it without you guys.
Okay, no other questions? Okay, thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it. Okay, so at this time, we're going to go ahead and go into the public session. During our public session, you can comment on any matter you would like. But we do ask any questions you have, you reserve strictly to budget, since this is a budget meeting, but you can comment anything you'd like. Okay, so with that being said, and you can ask other questions, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be answered at this meeting. So with that being said, can I entertain a motion to open up the public session, please?
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call. Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Okay, the floor is now open to the public. You can comment or speak on any matter, and you can ask questions about the budget. Please state your name for the record. Do not give your address, and you have 5 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing no one, we're going to close it. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, boy.
Here we go. Magic mics.
This is the only mic that works well, right here.
How you doing? Tony Pisano. I'd like to thank our Public Works Department as far as snow removal. Unfortunately for everybody, we are in the beginning of El Nino, so get used to it. We're going to be turning around and hitting basic years of late 1990s through 2010. As far as your maintenance goes, coming as a hybrid from the trucking industry, 10 years of operations, 10 years of maintenance, 20 years of maintenance, I basically worked on everything, and 10 years in safety. You're 15 years behind the times as far as our work orders and return on your investments. Repair orders, work orders. If you need help, I can help you digitize the systems and you can see what's going on. As far as your fuel costs aren't just going up due to the war. Your fuel costs are going to go up tremendously because Bayway is closing. They are the third largest, actually the largest refinery in the tri-state area. And due to our poor governors, they turn around, had a meeting, shook the man's hand, says, now you can close it. He said, thank you very much, the CEO of Bayway. You just saved me $500 million waiting. As far as transportation goes, our previous governors could have spent 50 cents more per rail, put in commercial rail into our railroads, and we could run heavy-duty rail besides passenger rail. But we went with this decision because everybody wanted passenger rail. So what that stopped is a lot of railheads that we can't use. So now what you're going to do is if Bayway goes down, you're going to have a 30% increase minimum of your trucks running on the road. I can't stop that. As far as if you have trucks with the police department being pulled over, I suggest you pull in a DOT officer, because what's running around a lot of our roads are double axle rigs. And I will kiss somebody's butt in Macy's window if you can tell me that a tandem axle rear truck is registered for 25,000 pounds. Most of them manufacturers, if you open up that door, it's 36,000. Your fine, I think, is about $100. Their fine's $2,000 plus towing. As far as this gentleman here with City Water and Sewers, can we get the rest of the town's water flows and see what they've been for the past 5 years and do all the construction, project that out to the next 5 or 10 years? Because if they're paying 40%, should they be paying 45, 50? We don't know. Correct?
We do know. They have meters, which they calibrate every year. They send them to us, and they measure how many gallons they send to Rex.
Okay, so we do know. So with all the construction going on, we can turn around, project, and come up with 5-year plans.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, and just to add to that, the amount they're billed is based on their flow.
Usage. Okay, that's what I'm asking. Like I said, if you need help, I'm available. Most of you have got my phone number. Question, can we get into the 26th century, year 2026? Is there an objection to 1, 2, and 3 sitting down here with us? Because you could use that screen, change these presentations to PDFs.
Yep.
And everybody can see it.
That's in the plan,
On a temporary basis. Until we upgrade the systems, everybody's sitting out here, everybody's talking about PDFs, cold tar, patch tarring, versus hot patch tarring, maintenance. As far as the DS question, your average on replacement is, a premium average of replacement of equipment is 10 years. The weighted average of 12.8 years is hard to use. If you don't do that, you wind up down the tubes. Like you said, you have equipment that'll be down. Now, my question always is,
If you have equipment down to parts, why? Maybe you need a reman and you need another engine sitting on the side. You can go Jesper Engines, Allison Transmission. I have a list of all the vendors, and if we're worried about paying out of tariff costs, try and buy American. It happens to last longer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pizzano. Anyone else?
Thank you. Justin Musella, 39 High Ridge Road. I just want to deliver some comments tonight based off of my observations of the last council meeting and this meeting tonight. I think that residents were pitched a 9.5 tax increase, one of the largest in recent memory for sure. But when you look at this budget, it's clear, at least in my opinion, I don't think this increase is inevitable. I think it's the result of choices, and we're starting off on the wrong foot. And I'd like to begin by saying that, you know, I've been where you are, and I understand the pressure, the competing priorities, and how difficult these decisions can be. And it's, you know, certainly not easy work. But I'm not just here to criticize the problem. I'm also here to present some solutions because, you know, what we're seeing right now is simply not sustainable when you factor in the Board of Education increase. We're looking at nearly $2 million in salary increases on the municipal side, about $1 million in new positions, a $2 million spike in health insurance costs, and millions more in structural adjustments and corrections. Now, this is coming at a time when families are tightening their belts and our own local government is expanding. And I think that's backwards. I also think that if we continue down this path, this kind of unsustainable budgeting will not just hurt one group. It'll make it harder for younger families to stay, harder for seniors to afford to remain, and harder for our small businesses to start and grow. And I think that in between now and the next council meeting, the council should avail themselves of everything they can do to bring down this increase. And before asking taxpayers to pay more, I have some suggestions that I think could be helpful. You know, for starters, we should conduct an analysis and talk to the county, because the county is going on its 7th consecutive year of no increases in the county tax rate while managing a $407 million budget. We should seriously look at, I understand that the position was we don't want to have a freeze on hiring, but that should be seriously explored. We should consider looking at all of the unused town land that we own and selling it off, so that way we can see if it would offset future increases. I would suggest monetizing our township assets, such as the Parsippany Transit System through ad revenue, for instance. Having all town celebrations, I understand that they are minor expenses paid for by the taxpayers, but I would encourage you to look at asking for donations or business sponsorships. We have about 4,500 businesses to defray the cost of those events. Putting real controls on overtime and salary growth, aggressively addressing health insurance costs by seeing if we are as competitively bid as possible. And lastly, it may not be popular, but requiring department-wide spending decreases. And then lastly, prioritizing or delaying non-essential capital projects. So I don't believe that these are radical ideas. I think they're responsible, common sense solutions. And if we can take these steps, I think we would significantly reduce the burden on our taxpayers without sacrificing the services that we rely on. And I think that the culture of town hall has to change, which historically has been treating taxpayers as the first solution to every problem, and they should be last. So tonight, I think that the council and the administration, you all have a choice after what you've heard and hopefully what other residents say, that you can make some different choices, reduce the size of the increase prior to the adoption of the budget on April 21st. Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin.
Come on up, Nick.
Right here.
Just pick one of the mics, magic mics. You pick one. It's gonna work. For you, Nick, it always works. That's our luck.
I have a couple of questions, but a remark on about Mr. Musella. We pay taxes in this country, but we're victims, all victims of a giant regressive tax system. As citizens of this country, we pay taxes for war as economy. We don't even have basic passive rights, healthcare, affordable housing, education. So the problems stem from the top, the mandate of heaven to us down here on earth. The Jefferson, you said Jefferson Road sidewalks. Now, isn't that a corporate area down there? Why should the town of Parsippany pay for sidewalks? Why don't the corporate real estate down there take care of the sidewalks for their workers or clientele who's ever walking around down there? The Parks and Forestry Department, when I last checked years ago, they didn't even have an arborist. So if they are going to hire another employee, I hope at the very least we have an arborist. So when he looks at these trees, even ash trees that might not be diseased or, to make scientific assessments, not just, deforestation. They took a lot of trees down on an old golf course. Some of them are obviously diseased. Other ones look to me like there was nothing wrong with them. And a friend of mine who knows a lot more about trees than I do, we were taking a look at some of them. Oaks, for example. So oaks are very, very valuable. And how much open space money has been used for equipment for parks and forestry or road works? I understand we changed the rules that we could use open space money for other purposes, but wouldn't it be better to use our open space money to acquire open space in Parsippany rather than sell it for more corporate tax ratables who have gotten this town into trouble with the pilot deals? And I didn't hear any mention from any of these departments how they feel that these pilot deals may have affected their budgets. So if you could answer any of that, especially the sidewalks down.
When you're finished, we can maybe answer one. About the open space, we'll get you an answer on that, because I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know, but I'll get you an answer.
Any other member from the public? Come on up. You don't have to raise your hand, you can just walk up.
No, go ahead.
No, ladies first. Oh, no problem.
Go ahead. No.
No, go ahead.
All right, you're already up.
I will be quick. My name is Deshad Zana. I moved to Parsippany almost 9 years ago. Within 9 years, my property tax has gone by 45 to 50% up, and I've not seen the corresponding visible good things around the Parsippany, including the roads. And roads are particularly very, very poor quality, very bad. I go to Danville, I go to Dover, I find much better roads. But when I drive in Parsippany, I really feel very sad. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'd like to address the last gentleman's question.
Thank you.
Oh,
My
ma'am?
name,
Ma'am,
Go ahead, let her, and then we'll address it.
go ahead.
let's see, it's working. Okay, so my name is Diana Arvidsson. I have been a lifelong resident of Parsippany, and one of my biggest concerns is, with this increase, is for the senior citizens. I'm going to read something that was sent to me. It says, "I have lived in Lake Parsippany for 70 years. I survive on Social Security alone and go hungry some days because I have to choose between eating and keeping a roof over my head and meeting the needs of my family." We have 10,000 seniors in this town, most of which are living on a fixed income. We have to keep that in mind when we're looking at a tax increase like this. We have a very young town council right now. We have our finance department that have only been here for a few months. I don't know if you know the neighborhoods, if you know the people, and how we have so many young families coming in here that are living on paycheck to paycheck, and they can't afford $100 or $78 a month. What that means is they're going to take away from their children because they're not going to have the money to spend on this, not necessities, on
Luxuries.
yes. So, please keep that in mind when you're looking at this. And I have a question for Mr. Simone, where you talked about the previous administration didn't build up funding for capital spending or some other line items. Is that a financial calculation that you're using to come up with that?
No.
Okay.
No, that's not a financial calculation. So if you look back since for the accumulated absences, right? That covers the cost of when people are leaving for separations, money that is owed to them. So on average, we are paying about $1 million annually. All right, and they were budgeting $10,000. So that's clear cut.
Okay, so is that on a yearly basis, or is that over time?
No, that's on a yearly basis. They were underfunding by over $1 million.
Okay. And are we doing anything to prevent people from building up on their vacation time or on their sick time?
Yes, that is being done. There are contractual obligations with our unions, and we have just put out a memo in the last month, I believe, with our non-union employees, just to continue to decrease that liability.
And I know that you said that the chief of staff is a position that is available, but is that really a want or is that a need? Because we really, not we, you guys, I have to depend on you, that you will look at every line item and decide if it's really necessary. There's some.
It's okay. No, it's okay. We'll allow the back and forth. Yeah, we'll allow the back and forth temporarily. I will jump in and stop it only because it's a budget thing. So since we are, and it's very civil, so it's not an issue.
Yeah. Another question I had is, does the golf course make the town money?
Let's hope so, because
It's something we are looking into it. That's going to be one of my pet projects going forward, to make sure that utility makes that money for the town. It has done that in the past. I looked at the history. I have no idea what has happened, but it's something I started looking into at day one. I can tell you, before I got into anything in my life, when I was young, I actually ran a country club. Okay, I worked there. I know everything about catering, from wedding plannings. I can still do wedding planning if somebody wants me to help you. Including the golf course and everything. That is something that we're going to focus on, and make sure it's a premier place. One of the reasons I had my after inauguration, party there is just about 80% of people who showed up saying, "Oh, this is ours?" When I told them, yes, this belongs to us. It's a township utility just like water and sewer. It is ours, and we should make money on it. It is not being advertised, as you should be, but there's gonna be a lot of focus on that, and you will see that.
Okay, now that,
Give us a chance.
I don't care if it breaks even, I just don't want it to cost us.
No, it's supposed to make money, and just to piggyback off of that, when I was the deputy county administrator of Passaic County, we ran a golf course as well. So I do have experience in golf course management, so that we have it's a priority of this administration to make sure that's gonna make money.
Thank you. So, my request of the town council is, there's a lot of learning for a lot of you on this council.
You have 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. But I would really hope that you all work together and make sure that this budget gets down to what the township people can afford. It's not just about running the town, it's about the people, and you work for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Name your phone.
My name is Hank Keller. Is this working?
Yeah, it's working, Hank.
My name is Hank Keller, and I really am very concerned, as this young lady mentioned, about the senior citizens in the town, although I'm certainly not one yet. Nevertheless, I do have a question that's really geared toward our attorney. I know that you all know that many people are dissatisfied with the pilot programs that have been so far accepted in town, and there's much talk about that. And I'm wondering if there's a possibility of possibly going back and looking at whether or not the town can withdraw from any of these programs, because recently I read something, I think it was in Focus, but I'm not sure, or maybe Facebook. Bob Venezia had mentioned that from the agreement that the town had made on a particular pilot program, we in fact were enjoying less revenue than we did when it was supposedly a non-functional piece of property. And I don't understand that, and I don't understand if that was correct, and I don't know the facts, but if that is correct, then there certainly must be something that we can think about doing to withdraw ourselves from situations that, in fact, we may not have understood what we were getting into. Thank you.
We can, this is about the budget, but we can talk about pilots
Yeah, we'll have
time. Well,
only because it's Hank, we're gonna allow this exception this time, all right?
Yeah, moving forward, we're gonna have, a pilot transparency committee, and there's a little bit, Bob has a little bit mixed up about some of the pilot that he was talking about.
Before you start, ma'am, before you start, allow him an opportunity to just respond to Mr. Heller.
I just want to say we are looking at the pilots. That is happening. It's not a budget issue, but it is in another sense.
All right, ma'am, come on up.
Hi, my name is Susan Milkevich. I'm here because I'm an elected member of Morris County Republican Committee for District 22. I moved to Parsippany 26 years ago because I work in financial technology, and it is an easier commute to Wall Street than my hometown of Jefferson. So, when I was walking around in District 22 campaigning for people, I heard from senior citizens who at that time, and that was like a year ago, very, very concerned about tax hikes. People aging in place is a much more compassionate way to go through the getting older process than assisted living sometimes and other considerations. So I think we should exercise compassion when we look at the taxes. Also, being in the financial technology industry, when I heard at our committee meeting last week that there are corporations which are moving from Parsippany, I wondered why, because that offers an exceptional amount of tax benefits. So I know that there are currently very large corporations here. For example, I worked at ADP for about 5 years in Roseland. I know they have a campus on, I think, Jefferson Road and Waterview Boulevard. Very thankful for those taxes that they're paying. I know that Barclays has a Whippany campus, a beautiful Whippany campus, and they're housing their information technology and operations people. Very good jobs, very, very good jobs. People in Parsippany would welcome the opportunity to not have to commute into New York City or Jersey City and work close to home, and we certainly have the current vacancies. And I was wondering if anything more could be done to, kind of woo these very rich employers with deep pockets into Parsippany to bring in the taxes and also to offer jobs to many of our people and even new graduates who do not want to have to experience going to New York to have that on their resume for 5 years before they can trudge back to New Jersey.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
I was just wondering, is there anything more that can be done? Can anybody explain, I'm sure you can, but does anybody know now why these corporations are leaving? This was told to me by a very good source, and why are they leaving? How can we get good companies, good white collar, good paying, six-figure, jobs?
I've been on council. They've been telling us they've been leaving for years. And no, I don't know why they've been leaving for years, but they've been leaving for years, and I don't know what the effort was to bring them back. I'm just, like I'm saying, they've been leaving for years, for a long time.
We'll look into it.
And we'll look into
Yeah,
it.
that would be
I mean,
great.
I can answer
and you
something.
can talk about
Absolutely.
ADP.
I also worked at ADP for 30 years in Roseland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
At headquarters before I
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah.
I was in security.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway,
What year?
I just left in December. I've been there for 30 years.
I was there from like 2000 to 2005.
Okay. Awesome. I can tell you Parsippany is open for business. I recently visited a business that actually came back to Parsippany a few years ago. But I can tell you majority of the business is left after COVID because of the whole remote from work situation. Corporation just felt, they looked at their bottom lines and saying, yeah, we don't need as much space as we need, so they downsized, and in some cases, if they couldn't downsize, they left the town. But now things are normalizing, where just about every corporation is doing, 3 days from home. So some of them are coming back. I just visited one recently where they made the whole campus as if when I visited, they have gyms, laundry facilities, all kinds of kitchens. The entire places look like a home where people can come, work, and they're hiring. So, we are at a transition phase where many corporations left and some of them are slowly coming back. The pace is something I can't decide, but if any business wants to come in, I'm open for business. I will talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, I was just a contract employee at Citibank in Jersey City. I know that they have a Rutherford office, and I know that a lot of people would welcome working in Parsippany. I know, there's, those guys, some people are moving to Texas, some people are moving to Florida, but this is also a very good location, and perhaps especially because technology is compounding exponentially, maybe people can be, maybe people would want to or prefer to move from Jersey City over to Parsippany. And that would be fantastic. It really would.
Maybe those techs would be, we have some leaving, some, it's changing, like
Yeah.
there's a transition.
Yeah.
People had so many businesses, so maybe it'll be less, it's changing, but maybe the tech companies will come in as changing.
It would be worth pulling together,
Go
you know,
find them
some.
for us.
I can tell you.
Hey, I volunteer, I'm willing to help, you know, seriously.
I can
because
tell you,
it's
besides a
important.
pharmaceutical company that's returning to Parsippany,
Mhm.
extremely high-end manufacturing companies also coming into Parsippany, you know, so
Yeah,
I think the future is bright for Parsippany.
that's good.
Yeah.
I'd rather not, because of the environmental impacts, I'd personally rather not have manufacturing when we could just as easily have,
This is not
you know,
that
like
kind
our
of
business.
environmental impact manufacturing, but it's,
Yeah.
you know,
Okey-doke.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
you're welcome.
Great job.
Any other member from the public?
Yeah, good evening, Council. Pradeep Kupchandani. So I was at the council meeting 2 weeks ago, and I saw the number. I'm just trying to understand, did the budget numbers change? Because in the 2 weeks ago at the high school, I believe it was 9+% increase, and now it's at 7.6. So I was not sure about that.
Yes.
The second point I wanted to make was I appreciate all the department heads coming and talking about their budgets. What would have really been helpful is to understand what the delta was, how much they were first talking about increasing their budget. It was useful to get the qualitative sense and the color behind the changes, but I do not know if we, the public, have access to that kind of information, but appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Budget is online, sir, so you can pull that up online. I don't know if it's by department. Yeah, I see what you're saying, okay.
Yes, it is. The departments are listed by salary.
So it is online by department.
Okay. And then, again, speaking about the 7.65% increase, that is for everything. That is for the municipality, for the Board of Education, for the county, everything that creates your taxes, that's that full number now. So our increase on the municipal side is a 9.5% increase on our budget. But overall, in the scale of it, it's a 7.65% increase on the entire budget, on the entire tax bill.
So keep one thing in mind. When we presented our budget 2 weeks ago, we did not know what the Board of Education number was. So we are only responsible for the town. Now then, today, since then, we learned what the Board of Education number is going to be, because everybody in here gets one tax bill. You don't get a separate tax bill for the county, the Board of Education, you just get one tax bill from the town hall. That entire tax bill, you know, when you take 9.5 and the Board of Education, you don't add that together, it's a weighted average. So, when you get your next tax bill, it's gonna be 7.65%. That's the actual increase. You're welcome.
Nick, I'm sorry, you came up already. You can come up here and talk to me if you want, I can't break the rules for you. I like you. Go ahead, shout out, what's up?
The town administrator made a statement. He said this will not affect senior citizens. I wish he would explain.
Okay, all right, so you said it, Nick, so well, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, no problem. So if I misspoke on that, I'll make sure I'm clarifying it. If you are a beneficiary of the senior tax freeze, and you're already signed up, then no, it's not going to impact you.
So he's basically saying because of the tax freeze. Come on up, Jack.
That is an ongoing program, so if you're a senior and you're not in the program, you can fill out the paperwork and apply for the program, and your taxes will be frozen going forward.
All right, we gotta ask the public not to speak in the audience, please. Thank you. Not you, come on. We're not talking about you, Laura. Go ahead, Jack.
Big mic, Jack.
What do we get, choice here?
You pick one of the magic mics, sir.
Just a few things that we can clarify. First of all, it looks like the total of the ratables went down year on year. Is that correct? It looks like 18 million or so. How could that be with all of the construction going on in this town? It just defies credulity. My second thing is, the BA mentioned that only half of the increase in the school budget is reflected this year, which means the other half is going to be reflected next year. So we can expect it like another at least 7.5% budget, depending on the increase in the health insurance next year. We're going to expect another significant tax increase next year. This is not just a one-time thing. This is going to roll over into the next year. So I think and if I'm wrong, just tell me where I'm wrong. And where do the pilots, and we can't just say we're not talking about the pilots because that's part of the budget, that the pilots, where are they included in the ratables and in the revenue projected? You've got revenue projected, you've got 1515 is online, and so is 2 and 3 Campus Drive. And I would imagine there's going to be a number of other pilots online before the end of the year. And where are they in the budget as well? So the presentation was kind of short, and we, would have been nice to have handouts, but I did take some pictures, and it looks like the ratables went up 7.65% from 3.452 to 3.716. Now, also, when we figure out the ratables, does that take into account an increase in housing values? So if our housing values increase, is that going to change the tax? Okay, so a few things for consideration, but yeah, we're going to get smacked again next year with the other half of the school increase next year. If we're only counting half of the increase this year, that means we're rolling to next year. And if I'm wrong, correct me.
Yeah, I'll address one part of that question. So, on the pilots, as Mark mentioned, we're going to be transparent with pilots. All the ones that people are going to request, they're all going to get a fair shake. And we're going to start presenting quarterly exactly the revenue that we're collecting from the pilots. So I think transparency is something that out here people are going to have to get used to. I know you have been given that, but I'm going to give that to you. And when it comes to the Board of Education, yes, they work on a fiscal year. We work on a calendar year. We're just presenting this information to you. Is that going to change things? I think Mark can probably answer that better than I can.
Or Angelica.
Yeah, I defer to Angelica on that one, but to go back to why the pilots, only having the few pilots listed in revenue is because those are the ones that actually paid us in 2025, and we've said it a few times, and I'll make sure that we continue to say it. We can't project more than what we took in. Do we know that those are going to pay us? Yes. We have 1515 that has been on for a while, and the 2 other campuses that you mentioned came on late in the year. We cannot add those projections until we've received real dollars. Once we receive real dollars, we can add that. That's why what we're going to do, as the mayor stated, on a quarterly basis, show you what it's looking like on a quarterly basis. As things are coming on, we are going to show that. We just cannot project money that we have not physically received.
So on that,
Okay.
Well, no, Jack,
Listen, I'll take it.
If you want, Jack, I'll make this one exception, but you got to talk into the mic. You get one more question, and that's it. Because I can't have too much of a back and forth since you already took your seat. You see, Jack, if it stayed standing, I would have let you.
So, there was about $296,000 projected for 1550.
Correct.
I didn't see any numbers projected for 2 and 3 Campus Drive. But what's going to happen is our taxes are going to be raised, even though you will be projecting revenue. If a business projects its revenue not on what it collected last year, it projects on what it anticipates collecting this year, and they do their business based on that. But here, for some reason, we're not, just because 2 or 3 campus. I don't know. Did they pay any money in 2025?
No, because they came on at the end of the year, so we did not collect any money from them until the beginning of this year.
But you have a contract with them, and if I don't pay my property taxes, you take my house. So they should be held to a pretty high standard. If they're getting a tax break, they should get at least the same treatment as any property owner here.
And again, I understand the frustration that you're coming from 100%, but our laws don't allow us to do that. That's what it comes down to. I can't just, if we know that we're going to take in $1 million and we haven't received that $1 million, I cannot budget off of that $1 million. I just can't do it, and there's state laws that back that.
Okay, he answered the question. That's the way the
So,
law
Jack,
is.
I got to cut you off, Jack.
I want to point out, again, we want to be able to answer your questions. We're not trying to hide. If we don't have the answer directly, we're going to get you the answers.
Come on up.
How are you guys? Chris Mazzarella. So, I'm going to say one thing. You did say before you were elected that pilots are no good. We're not going to take them. You just stated they're all going to get their fair share, and we're going to share that information transparently. So leave that there. Now I'm going to play dumb. You're saying it's a 7.65 increase. Municipal is 9.5 still? Mm-hmm. Why is the weighted going to bring that down? Because the zero from the county? Can you explain it to me better?
Yes.
Like I said, I'll play dumb. Explain to me better how it goes down when they're going to add to.
Okay, so if you, I think on our first budget presentation, we had the pie chart, and you can see the school is 60% of your tax bill. We're about 20%, the county's about 20%. So the school's 60% is weighted higher. So their increase counts more towards the total increase than ours does. So,
Okay,
and the county does help us.
So the municipal is still 9.5. It's not, that's not anything different.
No.
But you can mask it with the count of the Board of Ed one. All right, thanks.
So I think it's just simple math. Okay.
Hey, Bob, before you go on, I'd like to address Mr. Mazzarella's question on the pilots. Yes, I did say no to pilots during the campaign, okay? But once I'm in the seat here, if any applicant comes in, only reason they're going to get a fair shake is because the public never got a fair shake on exactly how pilots are. The entire council was kept in the dark. They were lied to last year. So I'm going a step further to be completely transparent, and I'm open-minded. I listened to a Republican councilman to say, can you start a pilot committee? I said, yeah, it's a great idea. Let's do it. And we're going to put, in addition to council members on there, people from the public, we're going to go through a process, at least for the first one, and let the public completely know, completely transparent. And obviously, logic dictates that if it does not benefit the town and somebody's going to lose, they don't get approved. But at least it'll be a transparent process.
Go ahead, since I've given everybody else an opportunity, why not, Chris? Come on up. Just one question, okay? Just one question, though, okay?
Maybe just a statement. So if that's the process you're going to take and you're going to be open-minded about it, you should run on that to start, not change it after you get there.
It's a democracy. Everybody gets a fair shake. Sorry. No, well, that's the truth. It's a democracy. You cannot let a developer come in and just deny it without giving them a fair chance to what they have to say. They could all be no's.
Okay, Chris, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what I believe in. It's the truth.
To be fair.
Truth is uncomfortable to you. I'm sorry you have to hear that.
I want to say something. To be fair, we, before the end of the year, kind of got blindsided. So they're taking, we did.
I said no to everything. You said yes to all of it.
I know, because
I wanted to fight it, Judy. You guys didn't want it.
Not for nothing, Matt.
Yeah, that's
not
for everything.
Matt
I wanted to
McGrath.
fight it. You said no.
We were talking, me and you, separately, and
And I told you I would say no the whole time.
I know, but you know you could, because we all were.
Judy, that's an absolute lie.
That's not true.
Judy,
You knew
Judy,
we all had to.
Judy, you are recorded here saying you would say no to pilots. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now,
Right.
the thing about what you just said, you changed your whole entire opinion.
Hold on.
I'm the only one who stayed true.
You understood what was at stake, and you know that you were the only one that could get away with not. And
So
you
tell
know
me what was at
well-
stake, please.
You know what was at
Please,
stake?
tell me.
I just need the audience to just not speak.
No,
please.
what was at stake, though, Judy?
The
We would
man-
lose our immunity, right?
Yes, we were afraid of losing that fair share housing plan.
And what does that mean to lose our immunity?
I don't want to get into this.
No,
right
you
now.
brought it up. So what it means is the
saying-
developer gets to build what they want.
What I
You
wanted
let them build 1,100 units at only 10% affordable, Judy.
can you just let me finish my conversation with Chris? What I was trying to say to Chris Mazzarella was that coming into this administration, our mayor and our new council was backing up me because I voted this way. And they came in saying no, and they were right.
I need her into the mic, Judy.
We're gonna go back to the.
To the mic, please.
Mic, into the mic.
So again,
Yes, the circumstances for me changed, and I felt like I was held hostage. That's the long and the short of it. I'm not happy about it, but that's what I felt like.
so Judy, when I told you why we should fight
To
it,
recreate
I
what
am,
happened. I
because it's
felt
gonna
like
happen
I
again
was
another
held-
time.
And that's not gonna happen again for me.
So
I
you're
felt
no to
like
all
I was
pilots?
held hostage.
That's what you're saying? You know to all pilots?
Okay.
Because no, hold on, because you can't say what you just said and then expect me not to react. You were a no, I was a no, multiple people were no's, and then everybody changed to a yes, Judy. Yes.
Not for that
Yes.
particular one.
All of them.
All right, I'm gonna have to stop this now. At this time, we're going to go ahead and just please stop screaming from the audience. There's no reason for that, okay? So at this time, we're going to go ahead and open the floor back up. Anyone that would like to come up to the mic are more than welcome to do so. Hey, Bob, you enjoy the show, buddy?
Which mic am I supposed to?
Anyone, Bob.
This doesn't.
It works. It likes you.
Okay. Bob Venezia, Parsippany. In last year's budget, resident Bernie Clarkin identified a large discrepancy in the amount budgeted for utility employee group insurance versus non-utility employee group insurance. There's a similar discrepancy in the 2026 budget and a few other issues with the group insurance line item that need to be explained. On page 12 of the budget, the line item for budgeted group insurance is listed as 12.6 million for 416 regular employees, and that's compared to 9.5 million for 107 utility employees. And note that I had to use 2025 employee counts because the employee counts are not available in the 2026 budget. Based on these numbers, the average group insurance premium per regular employee is about $30,000. While the average utility, when you do the division for a utility employee, is unbelievably about $88,000, almost 3 times as much. So, regarding the group insurance line item, please explain the following issues. Number one, why were the employee counts not included in the 2026 budget when they have always been included in past budgets? 2, does Parsippany still self-insure? 3, can you confirm that the average policy amounts that I just quoted for regular employees versus utility employees are correct? If they're not, what are the correct amounts and how should they be calculated? And lastly, why is there such a large discrepancy between the average health care cost of utility workers versus non-utility workers? Thank you.
I think that's questions for the CFO. Do we have any answers for Bob?
Sorry, so the insurance is broken up amongst the current fund, the water utility, the sewer utility, and the golf utility. There are lots of employees that work in town hall, but they do work for the utilities. So a portion of their insurance costs are spread amongst the utilities. This was a formula developed by the auditors years ago, and it's been consistent every year. So every year, if current fund goes up by 15%, water goes up by 15, sewer goes up by 15, golf goes up by 15. It's been the same formula for years. So like myself, Mark, the mayor, we do work for the utilities. We're not strictly general budget employees. So a portion of our costs need to be spread amongst the utilities.
Okay, thank you. Either that's an answer.
still not get, why is 130,000 and 188,000?
Yeah, Bob, I need you to speak into the mic, sir. Speak into the mic.
We can hear you, but the audience can't.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like there are employees that the portion of their salaries and a portion of their healthcare costs are charged to the utilities that you may consider current or general budget employees. So like finance staff, the clerk's office, the mayor's office, administration. We do work for the utilities, so a portion of our costs need to be charged to the utilities. That's where that's coming from.
You get that, Bob? So essentially our salaries is divided.
I don't know, it sounds
Not
like.
good? Not good enough
sounds
for
like
you?
we're shuffling money around.
Do you have any other
Sounds like
questions?
we're paying a lot of money for health insurance, way out of line.
That's a state mandate, Bob. Health insurance is the one thing.
I don't know about the state mandate because the Board of Education's only paying about 27,000 per employee.
Board of Education's a whole nother discussion.
Oh, well, they don't have cheap insurance. The teachers do not have cheap insurance.
A lot of things aren't cheap at the Board of Ed, Bob.
And maybe we ought to piggyback on their health insurance and pay 27,000 instead of whatever the hell we're paying.
Thanks, Bob. Anyone else? Come on, we're just trying to have fun.
Eric Zimmerman. So I understand that we have, from what was described, some of the best-in-class services in our town. I don't think anyone would argue that. That costs a lot of money. Maybe we got there by means that we couldn't afford. And it's nice that we have all these great things. It's nice that every vehicle can every department can expect however many cars or vehicles or equipments that they're used to getting year after year after year. But I'm sure that there's a lot of people in this room that are not getting what they used to expect to get year after year after year. We've all had to make some cuts, and it sucks. We can only take so much out here, and it's just going to get more expensive. It is. So my question to you guys is, how serious are you guys about reducing town hall expenditure? Maybe, or is there some equipment that might not be the best right now, but will do the job until next year? Are there some personnel that we really don't need? Are there some positions that are redundant? Is everyone actually performing to their task? I've said it before, we're a township, we're not a family. Personally, I don't want to pay for someone who has been here forever just because they have. We got to get competitive, but we can't take it out here anymore. And I'm sitting here listening to all these people say, we have the best this, the best this, the best this, the best this. Well, maybe we've been spoiled all these years and we can't afford it anymore. And maybe we have to take some cutbacks, and it's gonna hurt. Maybe we could work our way up to the best of everything. But from what I'm hearing, from what I'm looking at, the math doesn't add up, and we can't afford what we got. So let's make this work, but don't tax us for it.
Mr. Zimmerman, I'd like to address on the vehicle issue. Every single vehicle request that has been made, it was followed by saying we are replacing this vehicle because it's, we've had it since 2005, and we've been repairing it for years and years. So many of the vehicles being replaced are at the end of their life, beyond what it could be done. You can't even sell them at auctions, they're in such bad shape. I visited every single motor pool that we have, and the mechanics do fix things, and they work it and keep things repaired and keep it on the roads. So I think, when they keep these things and when they make the requests, they earn a little bit of bragging rights that they do a good job, for us, and they do more with less. So it's, I don't think they're just asking for vehicles because they want it. They don't. And I'll be honest with you. And, your comment about, well, let's do, maybe we don't need to be the best. Well, everybody strives to be the best, at their job. I'm trying to, do my best.
and so is everybody, that's the employee that's on this dais, and even the council people, they get paid. They're trying to do their best. That's just the way it is. If you want to cut back on that to save money, I don't think that, I don't think anybody has it in them to do that.
Respectfully, I want the best household. I want to run the best companies. But my budget won't allow me to do everything I want to do this year. Maybe next year will be different. Maybe my hard work will pay off. But right now, I'd be a fool to get all the best stuff for all of my companies. I'd be a fool because I can't afford it. It put me in a terrible place. And I think that's the same thing for this town. I don't think it's too different. I don't think that we can afford the best, even if we're used to it. And that's the hill I'm willing to die on.
But Mr. Zimmerman, I remember at the town hall meeting, you made some very good points, but you also said one thing that I need to bring up. You said that if you have to do unsavory things, because we inherited a mess, that you should do that, and I'm the wrong guy for that. I'm not going to do anything unsavory. That's not my style. No, I just won't do it.
You risk not doing unsavory things at the town hall level to do unsavory things for the taxpayers.
100%. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Let's go on.
Makes no sense.
Okay. Do we have any other member from the public that would like to speak? Okay, seeing, you can come up, sure, no problem. Take your time. You don't have to be quick. You could be slow. You got 5 minutes. Take as much. No problem.
Yeah, I'm Danny Mallory. I just basically want to second what he just said, everything. And Mr. Mayor, I know you want the best and, you want to please people, but like he said, sometimes you got to make hard decisions. And if times are tough for me, I got to make sacrifices too. And why is a town any different? You're a town of people. So that's all I ask is to, even like what Justin said, just look at everything again and again. There's got to be something, the one thing I stuck out for me, I don't know if it's still a thing, these splash pads. If you have to raise our taxes as much as you do, I don't think we're ready for splash pads.
No, actually, we're not spending a single tax dollar.
Oh, we're not?
Nope. Okay. I'm going to use all grant money to do that.
Okay, that's just one thing that stuck out for me.
If that wasn't made clear, I apologize. But
I mean, you guys, it's for
Please, in the audience, please, we just need to, it's a distraction in the audience, please.
It'll cost the town to run it though? I mean, or the grants, they work forever.
We have to explore, we have to explore. Right now we're looking into it to see what it's going to cost, what it's going to build, and if it's not feasible, we're not going to do it.
Well, I think if it costs anything over $1, it's right now it's not
money
feasible.
that we can use.
I'm just saying, just this increase, we got to cut things somewhere. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also keep in mind the bad financial practices that have been done through 3 administration.
Yeah.
A lot of people have asked me, what's one more year? This is definitely insanity to keep doing the same thing year after year and expecting different results.
Yes. But also, the last administration said that about the administration before them.
But I have proof.
I understand that. I wasn't on board with them 100% either. But we have to stop looking for the problem and look for the solution. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't disagree with you there.
This is the solution.
Okay, I see someone coming up. Come on up.
Bridget Cazzetto. I just wanted to say that open space funds should not be spent on splash pads. This is the suburbs, this is not an inner city. I'm not sure if the mayor is familiar with the water recreation we have in this town, but we have lakes, we have pool clubs. There's no need for our open space fund to go to splash pads.
Okay.
Okay, any other member from the public? Come on up.
Hi, I'm Nicole Franzese.
I was a public employee. I ran a department. I had a lot of different hats when I ran that department. I ran 5 different programs: economic development planning, emergency planning, emergency services, hazard mitigation. I'm sorry. So when you are a public employee, it's a sacred trust to have people's money. You're taking it from them, and you have to be very discretionary about how you spend that. When you're looking at this kind of increase, you don't add $1 million worth of new positions. If we have good departments, if they need to fill vacancies and keep those people, like in police and water, I think we're all for that. I mean, I am. And if we have infrastructure, trucks, things that need to be replaced that are very, very old, a lot of them seem to be the same. 2 dump trucks, a lot of trucks. Are these things we can do as an all-encompassing bid? Does the state have any bids? I mean, in New York, when I worked in New York or Pennsylvania, they would have bids done by the state, and then you could buy a truck through their bid. So I think maybe trying to control the cost a little bit there. I would ask that when you have these presentations, you have to have this information that they're giving you available to us. Because you want us to come up here and comment on it, and I'm like doing it like by the seat of my pants. And I've prepared a lot of budgets for a lot of cities, villages, and towns. And it's very difficult to do that if I don't have the information from the departments. I will ask, too, that if these departments are facing a lot of state mandates, and I think people think that it's their decision, and it's not their decision. We heard that a little bit in some of the water and sewer information, the EPA stormwater regulations. You need to make it clear what's our burden and what is the state putting on us, so people understand that a lot of corporations are leaving because of the state, the regulations and the taxes. I'm not in a party. I'm not affiliated. I'm just a person. So what I'm saying is those things are really important for us to know. As a taxpayer, I want to know that. And for you to say that $864 a year isn't a lot is tone deaf in what people are dealing with now. So $71 a month is about $864 a year. And my question with that is, if we have 10,000 senior citizens, how many of the people here do have a tax freeze? And then does that burden get shifted to the people that don't? So I don't know how that works, but I think maybe people might be murmuring about that. If I'm a young family and I have 3 or 4 neighbors that they all have tax freezes and they're not going to pay that increase, does that increase then go to other people? You're shaking your head no. I'm just asking.
So the state, the senior tax freeze is a state program. So the state pays us for the difference in tax.
That's what I wanted to know.
And pretty much everyone is approved for the program as long as they meet the income requirements.
Okay.
So.
I do want to say, like, when the departments come up, I think most of what they were talking about was filling existing positions, but it's not necessarily clear. It should be clear what's existing and what's new. Because I think they're basically, like the police department was saying, like 10 positions. I'm assuming those are people that they have a lot of people leaving, they need to fill that. But if you're talking about $1 million of new positions, I'm assuming that's not positions that we had last year. That's unacceptable in this year. You could phase that in. A lot of these things could be phased. No splash pads, grant funded or not. I've written millions of dollars worth of grants. You do a grant program or infrastructure, and then 5 years later, that grant program disappears, and you're maintaining that infrastructure, or you're maintaining that program that everybody, the last administration, thought was such a good idea, and it's not. I was really confused about the 911 redundancy. Like, so the police department has their own, but then the fire department goes through the county. Does that cost us something with the county? No. It doesn't? It's, okay, good. I was going to say we could maybe combine that if it wasn't. I was looking at the health and human services line item in the budget. Maybe I didn't understand that. It said something like, was 365%. Is that an increase in the town budget? I wasn't sure on that one section. I have it on my phone, but the other thing was, you talk about not letting people accumulate. You have obviously people who have unions, and that's in their contract that they can accumulate vacation or sick time. But In our contract upstate, we had specific things, so you have a section of your law 57-1, a memo's not going to do it. You need to change the local legislation to say that people get 4 weeks of vacation or 2 weeks of vacation. If you're going to carry over more than 20 days, you have to have approval from your department head, and that's only granted in certain conditions. There shouldn't be a piggy bank for people for retirement. If we can't do anything about the unions, that's fine. But a lot of those people are not union workers. And some of those positions, they're not police officers or are workers who are out, doing snow 24/7. That never should have been allowed to happen, ever. And that's every administration. And again, unaffiliated, I don't care who did it. But we have to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Okay, Nicole,
Time's up, ma'am.
they just came in and they just made that new recommendation for the staff here, but the 10 years of accumulated absences were $1 million for those 10 years. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Don't just send a memo, change that.
No,
they
we're
it was
doing that.
ordinance.
So
It was
just so you
it
know,
was like-
we put a memo,
changed.
I apologize for interrupting,
Yeah, it
but no, a
wasn't just
memo
a
was
memo.
put out letting them know, we're doing a full evaluation
Yeah.
of the personnel policy and procedures manual, which has not been updated since, I think, 2017, 2018. So that is being updated and that is being included to cut that bleeding.
And I just have one other thing. I couldn't find the development fees section. Are we doing that? Getting development fees from, I couldn't find that in the budget. Could you just direct me to what page that was on?
So that's not a budgetary item. That goes directly into the COA trust. So it's not a budget item. So.
Any other member? Okay, so at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to close the public session. Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Ms. Patel. Roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez? Okay, at this time, could I please have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi. Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Okay, we're adjourned. Have a good night, everybody.
He was asking.
Okay.